Sounds like a bird chirping.
I hear it, but that's coming from Mr. Jesse Chavez.
Okay, Mr. Chavez, can you mute?
I hear it.
Yeah, Mr. Chavez, can you mute, sir? We are on Zoom, on YouTube Live. Good morning, everybody. My name is Judge Bonnie Rangel. It is my honor and privilege and pleasure to be 171st Judicial District Court. Before I continue with my prefacing remarks, Javier Padilla, do I let him in? Javier Padilla?
Yes, he's a defendant, Judge.
Nicholas Smith? Yes, defendant?
Yes, defendant.
Yes.
I go over my docket every evening before. I can't believe I don't remember these names. Okay, there's Mr. Nicholas Smith. I'm going to continue. It is 9:03 a.m. 7/6/2020. As everybody knows, we are in the midst of this pandemic, and the Texas Supreme Court has allowed us to hold hearings via Zoom and YouTube Live. Is there anybody out there that objects? And if so, please verbalize it right now. Let the record reflect that there are no objections. I have to inform the participants that Ms. Anita Garza, my court reporter, is participating, as well as Rebecca Gonzalez, my court coordinator, and my babe. Look, and she smiled. That was cute. A cute introduction. And Mr. You're so cute, Becky. And Mr. Rick Salazar, whom is my bailiff and is taking care of security on this Zoom hearing. Okay, now there's not to be absolutely any recordings from either the participants or people watching via YouTube Live. If you do record, you could be held in contempt of court. Realize that the only official court record is the court reporter's recording and record of this proceeding. I want to inform everybody that we are on YouTube Live to comply with the Texas Open Courts provision. If anybody wants to utilize the options bar at the bottom, look at that. And if you want to do a chat or want to do a breakout room to speak to somebody privately, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to allow that to happen. Now, does anybody out there not understand the process, not understand my instructions, or objects to proceeding with this process? Let the record reflect that there are no objections. So we are going to go ahead and begin with our docket. Ms. Becky, that was what I was going to ask you off Zoom. The first four are arraignments, so I don't handle that, or do I handle it?
Those are on your docket, Judge, because they don't have attorneys.
Oh.
But the first one, Saul Lambris, they retained Ismael Pease. So I told Ismael Pease that he didn't need to be in, just to put in the arraignment.
Okay, the other three I do have to deal with, but I'm not going to deal with them right now. I'm going to Erica Gomez, that's Ms. Caballero. Court calls cause number 2018-2515. The state of Texas versus Erica Gomez. Announcement of counsel, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Alyssa Nava for the state of Texas. The state is ready to proceed for purposes of this hearing.
Good morning, Ms. Nava.
Your Honor, I think we're waiting on Ms. Caballero. Is there any way we could?
She said she was going to be a little late, Judge, 5 minutes.
Yeah, but she logged in, so I thought she was in.
I thought I saw her as well.
Yeah, she just logged in.
Oh,
Yeah, she is logged in. It has showing Mr. Lucas is on screen.
Okay, we'll get back to it. We'll
Yeah,
get back.
she's a lot better looking than I am. Okay,
That's a matter of opinion.
it's not hard to confuse. Okay.
Mr. Lucas, that's a matter of opinion. Here she comes.
Good morning, Judge.
Are you ready?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you for waiting.
How are you this morning? I've not seen you.
I love your hair.
Doesn't it look fabulous? I think so.
Does. It does.
I'm straight. This is my new COVID look. I'm doing the straight look, and it's really effortless. That's what I like.
I don't believe that.
Very
Our client is here.
good.
Erica's here.
Very good. Thank you.
And we again thank you for lowering the bond.
No worries. She's behaving, though. I'm happy. Thank her. Tell her I'm very grateful that she's complying and she's doing everything she needs to do. So I thank her for that, and keep it up, please. Ms. Gomez, I think you can hear me. Before we proceed, front desk, who Who the heck is checking in that says front desk, Becky? Do you have a clue?
I know one of the emails that say front desk is Derek Wyatt's. It's the reception area.
Okay.
That's their email says front desk.
Okay, I've never allowed a front desk in, so I was a bit surprised. Okay. Okay, now we're on the record. Ms. Erica Gomez, so can somebody tell me, we're gonna proceed with this motion to suppress, and I think we can do it through Zoom. What are you thinking, Ms. Nava and Ms. Caballero?
Your Honor, you mean today's a status hearing, correct?
Mhm.
Okay.
You kind of panicked. You thought today was a suppression. No. This is just a status to see we're gonna proceed through Zoom, and I think we can. Or what are you guys thinking?
Well, Judge, we have several motions, actually. I don't know the order.
Can you
Oh.
hear, James?
We
Yes,
have several motions, Judge. I don't know the order of which you want to take them when we do this thing. But
Okay, when and if we do them, what are the motions that are pending then? Because I'm only aware of the motion to suppress. So
Okay.
tell me the motions that are pending.
Yes, James, Mr. Lucas filed a couple of motions about 2 months ago, and the court should have a copy. I encourage the court to, I think the court should read these motions. They're very long, they're
Okay.
very involved, they're very cutting edge. And I think when you absorb it, you're gonna decide how you wanna proceed. You're gonna say, I think we need to hear these motions first and then the suppression, or vice versa.
Okay.
But the motions, we are attacking the state's case and the state. And we believe that there have been some serious wrongdoings here. And they're all laid out in the motions. And it's very serious, and I'm surprised that the state has not responded in writing.
Okay, it sounds like it's pretty serious stuff, Ms. Carrera. It sounds like it's pretty serious stuff. Ms. Nava, do you have any input or any comment?
Your Honor, whatever motion you would like to hear first, we're ready to proceed on any of them. Basically, I think the motion that Ms. Caballero is referring to is the one involving prosecutorial misconduct, stating that the ME changed her opinion. It is a very lengthy motion, but that changed her opinion from the baby being stillborn to what she finally ultimately ruled that it was a homicide. That was something that was addressed during a bond hearing, where she clearly stated that was the information provided by both the family and police, and not her opinion, but ultimately what she decided was that the baby was alive. And had never ruled that the child was stillborn. But Ms. Caballero, Mr. Lucas seemed to believe that something else went on. So whenever the
Okay.
court would like to hear that motion.
Ms. Nava, do you intend to respond or not? And I'll just set the hearing once after I read the motions.
Your Honor, I would like some time to respond.
Okay.
Additional time to work with my higher ups or appeals or anything, because they are very serious accusations, not only against the state, but against myself. And so I would like to make sure that I do have sufficient time to respond now in writing.
Okay, and I think you need to respond first, and then I will read the motion and then your response. So how much time do you want to respond, Ms. Nava?
Your Honor, may I have 30 days?
I don't think there's any problem with that. Ms. Caballero, Mr. Lucas,
no
any of
problem.
the 30
You
days?
don't I don't care if they want 60 days.
Okay.
I think they need to respond.
Okay. Okay.
And Judge, we also have a Dober motion and a discovery motion. And what was the motion regarding?
We wanted to have a DNA test.
Your Honor, Miss Nava has tried to put me in touch, or she gave me the telephone number of a detective, a sergeant, or I don't know, lieutenant down at the police station, because we wanted to make a report. My client was raped And this has not been investigated. And the child is a product of that rape. And on top of it, it was incest. So we have been trying to move the police department to investigate this, but he never called me back. And then I happened to talk to him last week on a different case and he mentioned it. So we have a motion. I'm not sure the court has jurisdiction. I don't know, but we need to ask. We have a motion on the table saying we want this relative to be DNA tested.
I don't know if I do have jurisdiction for that.
Big scope.
It does explain what happened,
Right.
and it's important.
Okay.
But, Your Honor, it's a lot to digest, and I'm glad we're having this status hearing.
Yes, absolutely.
We can everybody get oriented.
Okay. Okay, any comments on that last motion?
Your Honor, I don't believe that the defense can compel the law enforcement agency to go and take blood from another individual. I have been trying to work with Ms. Caballero. I've put her in touch with not only a sergeant with sheriffs, but also the lieutenant with the Crimes Against Children with the El Paso Police Department. If they haven't reached back out to her, I can ask them to give her a call. If that would be helpful in moving that investigation along.
Right.
You know what? It turned out that the sheriff's department didn't have jurisdiction. It was a police deal. And the detective that you gave me the number to, he's the one who, now he didn't call me back, but I talked to him regarding another case and he brought it up and he said for me to stop by the station.
And I'm sorry. Ultimately, Your Honor, that's what's going to happen is they're going to direct her. And I believe I spoke with Ms. Caballero about this one of the times we talked about walking into any of the El Paso police stations or the sheriff stations and making a report there. I mean, that's typically how these crimes are reported.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think once that is done, Ms. Caballero, then that process will take over to get the information you need, probably, right? Okay, we're gonna have to take this one step at a time. Mr. Castañeda, can you look into the system and see if we have, you filed the motion to suppress, correct, Ms. Caballero? That's been filed already?
Yes, Your Honor. And there's a Dober motion too.
Can you check to see, because I can access the system and start reading them. Can you check to see if there's the MTS, a Dober, a discovery motion, and then the other two motions are called what? What's the title of the two motions?
DNA.
Your Honor, we don't have them in front of us. James has those and we're in my office. He thinks it's a motion for DNA, something like that, and a motion, I believe, to dismiss for prosecutorial misconduct /
Those are the two that are critical. Are they in the system, Mr. Castañeda, so that I can access them and read them?
I see the Dober. I don't see the motion to suppress, Judge.
Okay.
That was filed a while back.
Yeah, and this was filed way back. And I'll have to go. Let me.
Okay, so we know that's there. What about the other two motions? Forget the motion to suppress.
There was one. What was it? I heard DNA. What was the
DNA testing.
It says motion for genetic
testing?
Judge.
Okay, so it's in the system. And then what about the motion to dismiss?
Motion to dismiss indictment.
Okay, is that it, Ms. Caballero?
I'm not sure. That doesn't
And a
sound.
motion to quash indictment.
Your Honor, I do believe it's the motion to dismiss indictment. It is 68 pages.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, that's it. Then there's a discovery motion.
For disclosure of Brady material.
Is that it, Ms. Caballero?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I just want to make sure everything is in the system so I can read and access it. You gave me some homework to do. Let us do this. Don't you think it would probably be valuable. Give me a week, 2 weeks to review that. Then we'll get back with another status to see how we're gonna proceed.
Yes,
Is that-
Your Honor. That's-
And Your Honor, in regards to the response, with the motion being 60 pages and Mrs. Caballero not having an issue with the 60 days, may I have 60 days to respond to the motion?
I'm supposed to give you time. I'm supposed to give you time. I don't want to give you 60 days. I'll give you 45 days. I don't know why you need 60. I think 45 days would be good. Let's do 45 days. So then I don't do anything until you submit your response in 45 days, Ms. Mello.
Okay.
Right? Okay, yeah. I'll give you 45 days. 45 day status. And then from there, we'll have the status hearing. I should have read them by then too, right? Yeah, if you can file your response maybe at least a week before the 45 days, that way I can have that week, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And can you do me another favor? Because it'll tickle my system. Can you email Ms. Becky? Becky, I filed the response.
Yes,
Right?
Your Honor.
So that way I'll remember you're about a week away, and so then I'll start reading it.
Yes, Your Honor.
I review my docket the night before, generally. Okay, great. Okay, are we on the same track? Any more issues, any more questions? I'm so glad we got together again. I didn't realize it was
So,
gonna.
so at the status, or if later on down the line, Judge, we do need that motion to suppress, it will be possible to be doing it by Zoom.
We have a lot of motions. Well, let me
Right,
read.
but these ones, if I said all of these after the status hearing, they would be under the remote hearing.
Yes,
notice. Yes,
it would have to be all by Zoom. There's not gonna
Right.
be in person. But I
okay,
don't know. I think what Ms. Caballero is trying to say is I need to read the motions for me to be convinced that we can even do it through Zoom,
okay.
right?
Right, Your Honor.
And we might not. We have to wait until we do in person, but let me read the motions first. So Becky, at this point,
Okay.
Becky, don't set anything but the status in 45 days. Is
As we go, okay.
everybody okay with that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good, okay. Ms. Caballero, Mr. Lucas, anything else?
No, no, Your Honor.
Judge, your hair does look very nice though, Judge.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. He had to chime in.
He's a connoisseur.
I need a haircut, I don't.
You look pretty good, Mr. Lucas. Both of you look well and safe and productive, and that's good. That's the objective during these crazy times. Nice to see you both. Ms. Nava, anything else?
No, Your Honor, but I also think your hair looks nice.
Already, thank you so much. I'm going to do this more often. I got up 2 hours earlier. I think you're right, Ms. Caballero. It does take some effort.
You're not fooling me.
Okay, I'll admit it. Thank you, guys. Be safe out there. Be safe.
Thank you.
See you in 45 days. Thank you.
Thank you.
On this one, yes, ma'am. The next one is Mr. Jaime Olivas. Mr. Jaime Olivas and Alejandro Cesar Roa. Are you there, Mr.
Morning.
Morning, yes, ma'am.
Yes, I remember I let you in. Is Mr. Did I didn't let Mr. Olivas in, did I? Or is somebody on for Mr. Olivas?
Yes, Jaime's iPhone.
Jaime's iPhone. Okay, Mr. Jaime. At
morning.
this time, court calls number 2019-5792, Alejandro Roa. Announcement of council, please.
David Nunez for the stage. Your Honor, stage is ready.
Jaime Olivas for Mr. Roa. We are ready, Judge.
Oh, I forgot I let Jaime's iPhone in. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. Mr. Roa.
Yes, ma'am.
Talk to me, sir. Do you see and recognize your attorney, Mr. Olivas, on the screen?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Mr. Olivas, do you see and recognize your client as the defendant in this case?
Yes, Judge.
Very well. Let the record reflect that both have recognized each other. Okay, this one needs an arraignment. We've not done an arraignment, Ms. Becky. Are we still missing a waiver of arraignment in this case?
Judge, I'll submit it in writing if you like.
Yes, please do. Yeah, if you can do it with as least in-person contact, the better. But I think we're still missing that in this case. Okay.
Okay, I'll
Let's
submit.
Let's get that in, please, by today or tomorrow, please. Now, the other issue, is just the issue. He's not on my PR bond. Somebody, where's that noise coming from, Mr. Rick? Is it coming
That's Mr. Ross' iPhone. Every time he's getting kind of lit up a little bit.
Okay, Mr. Olivas, do you have any objection if I just put him on my new and improved PR bond? He's doing well, he's complying with his PR terms.
No, Judge.
Very good, thank you. Okay, Mr. Doa, I'm gonna put you on my new and improved PR bond. What that means is I'm gonna put just a little bit of more strict rules. No bars, no no bars. How meaningful is that now the bars are closed? No bars, no drugs, no alcohol, no arrest, no offenses against the state of Texas or any other state. You cannot leave El Paso County unless until you have my permission, Mr. Doa. You're gonna report one time monthly. Okay, PR
Yes.
bond. And then you're going to report one time monthly for a UA. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
with 24 hours notice.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Thank you for dressing. You look very respectful. You look like you respect me and respect the system. I appreciate that. Mr. Roa, do you think you have a problem, a drug problem that you want me to help you with?
No, ma'am.
Because I want to help you. But you say you don't have a problem, then I can't help you. Okay, sir.
Curfew,
We're-
Judge? I'm sorry. Curfew?
Curfew is going to be 9 to 6 a.m. Did I miss anything else, Mr. Nunez? Anything else did I miss? Any other terms that we need to put in?
No, Your Honor, but we do have a record. Like
Oh, a rec. Yes. Tell us the rec.
it's 1244B time served or 1 year deferred on a 1244A. $100 fine. 50 hours
$50.
50 hours of community service.
We can't hear you, sir. You're coming in and out. It's very bad.
UA.
If you put, is it on the portal?
Yes.
Okay, we'll get it from the portal because
You're coming in and out too, Mr. Olivas. Can you repeat what you just said, Mr. Olivas?
yeah, it's on the portal. I'll take it down from there, Judge, and I'll discuss it with Mr. Roa.
Okay, sir. And then can we set this up for a settlement conference in 30 days to see if you take it or not, or what's going to happen? Can we do that? Olivas? Yes? It sounds like it's a deal that probably can be worked out, settlement conference in 30 days. Please. Mr. Olivas, anything else, sir?
Not at this time, Judge.
Mr. Nunez, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Roa, thank you so much for participating. Everybody may be excused. Have a great day.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. The next one is Ruben Navarro, Derek Inata, court calls cause number 2020-1112. Announce on the council, please.
David Nunez for the state, Your Honor. State is ready.
Eric Knapp on behalf of Mr. Navarro, Judge. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. I've not seen you in a bit. It's a pleasure to see you,
It's
sir.
always a pleasure, Your Honor. Always a pleasure. And then I have my client logging on right now as we speak.
Okay, should we wait for him? He's not in my waiting room.
I just spoke with him shortly ago, Judge, so he's logging in.
He's not in my waiting room. Let's see. Okay, for right now. Okay, for right now, will you waive his presence until he logs in, Mr. Quinones?
I sure will, Judge. I know he'll log in momentarily.
Got it. Okay, very well. Presence is waived. This is a status, I guess, email as to Flor Serna. I didn't get Navarro, Miss Becky. Miss Becky,
Yes, Judge, yes.
the PR summary I got didn't have Mr. Navarro.
No, it didn't, Judge. Let me look it up on the email, see what she sent you. Hold on, because I wasn't printing them out anymore.
Yeah, I don't have it. He wasn't on my summary list. So I thought he was behaving. Maybe that's why he's not showing up, Mr. Quinones.
Oh, Judge, he's here, Judge. He's here.
Okay, sir. I don't know where. He's not in the meeting room. There he is. You are right. I'm letting him in right now. Let's see.
Thank you, Judge.
Absolutely. Mr. Navarro, can you hear us? Oh, he's connecting. He can't. Let's see.
Show it. Hold on.
Ms. Becky, can you just call Flor Serna to see?
Okay, Judge.
Because there's no, I didn't get any summary on him. Mr. Navarro, are you there, sir?
Mr. Navarro is on mute.
Okay, I'm asking you to unmute, Mr. Navarro. We need to hear you. I wish I could see your face.
Hi, can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Can you turn on your video?
Yes, ma'am. I'm trying to turn it on. Okay, there.
There you go. I have to see your face, sir. Very
Hi, ma'am.
nice.
Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to see you, sir. Do you see
Thank
and
you.
recognize your attorney, Mr. Kinata, on the screen?
I cannot see him right now.
Mr. Kinata, speak.
Ruben, good morning, good
Oh,
morning.
hi. Hey, good morning, Mr. Canada.
Okay, you see and recognize him? He's your attorney?
Yes.
Very well. And Mr. Kinata, do you see and recognize your client as the defendant in this?
That is correct, Judge. That is correct.
Let the record reflect that both have identified each other. Now, Ms. Becky, do we have Flor Serna?
She's getting her on the phone, Judge. This was one of them. Hold on.
Mr. Castañeda, is he on my kind of bond?
He is not, Judge.
He's not?
He's one of those
So
praxis.
this is Becky. I'm gonna send you a Zoom invite. Can you get on the system with the judge?
Mute, Becky.
We have a Ruben Navarro.
Becky, mute. If you're talking, I can't continue.
You want her on Zoom, Judge?
Yes.
Okay, let me send her the invite.
Thank you. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. Mr. Kinata, do you have any problem while we're waiting for his PR bond officer? Do you have any problem if I amend him to my new and improved bond?
Well, Judge, if there's reason to suffice, Judge, well, then we have no problem whatsoever.
The
But if
reason
there's
is
no,
because I don't like the jail magistrate bonds. They're too lax. And I don't know when it says praxis. What the hell does that mean? And it doesn't give notice to them what it is. That's outrageous. I don't like their bonds. They need to be specific. They need to, give notice to the defendant so the defendant can know the rules he has to live by. That's the problem.
I agree, Judge, and if there's no reason to modify it, Judge, I don't see why we should.
There is a reason to modify. Mr. Navarro,
Yes, ma'am.
when are you reporting to your PR bond officer?
My PR bond.
How and when are you reporting to him?
I am reporting to her. Her name is Flor. Flor Ramos. I am reporting to her. Yes, I'm reporting to her every day before or every time before my court dates, and everything's been fine. I talked to her yesterday, actually.
Okay, good. So you're calling her every time before a hearing?
Yes, I'm actually calling her at different times to check out my court dates and just to make sure everything's fine. I'm keeping everything up to date.
Good for you, sir. Good for you. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm proud of you. I don't think there's any non-compliant behavior. I think the issue is we just have to put you on my bond. Okay?
Thank you so much.
So I don't believe in people reporting by phone. I don't. During this coronavirus, though, I think you have to, right? But my bond is going to be a bond that's going to survive the coronavirus. Okay? And so you're going to have to eventually, when the PR bond office allows you, to report one time monthly. Okay?
One time monthly.
Are you giving any UAs according to the PR bond that you are at right now?
No, ma'am.
Okay, see? Not a good bond. Okay, I'm going to put you on my new and improved bond. No bars, no drugs, no alcohol, no arrests, no offenses against the state of Texas or any state. You cannot leave El Paso County unless and until you have my permission, sir. You are going to report one time monthly in person. Do you think you have a drug problem, sir, that you want me to help you with?
No, ma'am, I do not.
You don't have a drug problem? You think it's funny and you get arrested for possession of a controlled substance?
No, ma'am.
And you think it's funny? Huh, no way, not me. Oh God, are you kidding me?
No, ma'am.
I don't pull things just out of the air. People that get arrested for possession of a controlled substance have a problem.
It's marijuana, Judge, THC.
It doesn't matter. THC marijuana is illegal in the state of Texas. You can't be committing an offense against the state of Texas. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to have you UAs 2 times a month, 2 times monthly with 24 hours notice, sir. That means that you are not going to know when you're going to get tested. And you're going to go in, you got 24 hours notice. You don't go in within 24 hours notice. To me, that means you're doing drugs.
Okay.
Hi, Judge. How are you doing?
See your face, your beautiful face. How are you?
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Judge.
Yes, how are you? Miss Love?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Thank you for asking.
Yes, ma'am. Good, good. It's a pleasure to see you. I just put Mr. Navarro on my new and approved PR bond. Okay.
Who I apologize, Judge. Who did you say?
Ruben Navarro.
Navarro. Let's get him up really quick.
Yes, and I didn't get an email, but maybe Becky got the email, or I don't know. Maybe it just says to put him on my bond.
Yes, let me check really quick because I think I might have sent you one before, but I'm not sure. Let me find out.
Yes, ma'am, please look into that. Miss Becky, while she's doing that, Barnett Galo was reset, right?
Yeah, that was the one that was canceled, Judge.
Got it.
And I do show, Judge, that this was a PR bond summary on 6/22/20, where we went over it and you told me to go ahead and set them for status. So she had sent, Flor Serna had sent a summary to Rita.
On 6/22?
Yes, Judge.
And what did the summary say?
It just says was PR bond on 1/9/20 by Jail Mag and placed under administrative supervision, where he is only to report by phone. 1 day before court, attended orientation, has provided valid contact information, is currently compliant.
Okay.
Email was sent to the court on 3/20, informing Mr. Navarro's reporting instructions at the Jail Mag.
Okay. Okay. Now it looks like he is compliant. We just have to put him on my new and improved bond. That's all.
Perfect, Judge. And I did tell him that that was going to be a possibility for him to be prepared for that. So I spoke with him yesterday.
Yes, he did. He said he calls. He calls frequently. He says he calls you.
Yes, he does, Judge. Yes, he's compliant.
Good. Thank you, Miss Edna. You may be
You're
excused.
welcome. Thank you so much, Judge. Have yourself a really good day and stay safe, please.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Say hi to everybody over there.
Thank you. I sure will.
Don't give them hugs, but just say hi to everybody. Okay?
I will. I'll let them know, Judge. Thank you. Bye-bye.
I think we're done. Anything else?
Curfew, Judge?
Thank you.
Curfew?
9 to 6 curfew. Yes. Anything else, Mr. Kinata?
Oh, we're good, Your Honor.
Good. Anything else, Mr. Nunez?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Navarro, thank you so much for participating. I really appreciate that. Continue doing good on your PR bond. I know you will. Have a great day, everybody. You may be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next one is Nicolette Escobar. Miss Escobar, are you there?
Judge, I believe she is with Felix Saldivar and front desk camera, but they are on mute.
Has Felix Saldivar unmute? Can you unmute, Mr. Saldivar? There you go.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Saldivar. How are you?
Still $1 million short from being a millionaire, but short of that, we're okay.
Otherwise, we'd retire, right?
That's it. That's it.
Were you the one on TV last night that I saw or day before?
No, that was my son.
Oh, I said, Felix Saldivar, I recognize that name.
Much younger. That's the more newer version of me.
It looks like you as if it was yesterday, Mr. Saldivar.
Thank you, Judge. You're most kind.
Okay, sir. Good, good. Everything okay with him?
Everything
okay?
good.
Good. Amen. Okay. Now you're here. I guess we've set this hearing because we wanted her to get an attorney, and I guess she did. I think we're okay, right?
Right. I'm going to send you the order on substitution of counsel, and I've talked to Mr. Nunez. We have a plea recommendation that we've accepted. So we're going to ask the court to set it for a plea.
Ms. Becky put this on the non-custodial plea list. We'll set it up in about 2-3 weeks, depending on what our list looks like, Mr. Saldivar, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Very well. Anything else, Mr. Saldivar? Thank you
No.
so much for entering
No.
an appearance, for settling this case. Amen. Hallelujah. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Nunez, anything else in this case? Mr. Nunez? Okay, no, Mr. Nunez. I
No, Your
don't know
Honor.
where he.
The
Okay.
button didn't work.
The button didn't work? Do the
Your Honor.
space bar. You can do the space bar.
Yes, Your Honor.
Remember that little tip. Okay. Ms. Escobar, thank you so much for showing up. I greatly appreciate it. Everybody have a great day and be safe.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next one is Alexander Rangel, 2018-1007. And that's
What's that?
No, you said.
David Nunez for the state, Your Honor. State is ready.
Portia Brown on behalf of Alexander Rangel. You ready, Your Honor? We're going to waive his appearance. He's in the county jail.
I'm removing front desk. They just got up and left. I don't think they realized they had to shut themselves off. Okay. So you're waiving his appearance. Very good. Okay, this is a pre-revo. Who's the probation officer in this case?
Judge, I'm covering for the BHRTC.
Thank you. So tell me, what did he do? Did he abscond?
Judge, yes, he absconded from BHRTC, Judge, on July 30th, 2019. And during the last hearing, the court requested a violation notice to be submitted so that a motion can be filed. The department is still willing to work with him, Judge, if the court allows.
Mr. Nunez? How was he? Well, he absconded. How did he get arrested? Or did he turn himself in? Or he's in jail. So how did he get arrested? On my bench warrant?
Let me see. Give me a few minutes, Judge. Let me check a few seconds. Let me check really quick.
Judge, the bench warrant.
Your Honor, I remember the last time we were here, I believe you wanted a jail commitment.
I did. And then we put him back on probation?
I believe that was the case.
Wait, hang on. Who's the public defender in this case?
It's me, Judge.
Ms. Brown, do you have any recollection? I forgot. Do you have any recollection?
I do. I mean, we would prefer the jail commitment and him being placed back on probation, but my understanding was the rec was 4 TDC, and then we negotiated it down to 3 TDC, which my client was willing to accept.
Yeah, I don't remember. I remember this because he had my last name, and I said, oh my God.
This is the gentleman on the file where you put don't run equals prison.
Oh, there it is. Thank you. Mr. Nunez, you need to update your info. You're giving me wrong info.
Yes, Your Honor.
Who was that mysterious voice?
Judge, in Mr. Nunez's defense, he did go down to 3 TDC, and we are set for a plea hearing, plea of true next week. So I'm gonna have to back up Mr. Nunez and help him out because he helped me out with this deal. So
Well,
I'll be nice. I'm gonna be nice today. So.
You can be nice. You can be nice, but that's excuse him in my book.
Right, Judge.
Thank you for doing that to try and slowly get him out from under this bus, Ms. Brown. I appreciate seeing that. Mr. Nunez appreciates it greatly, but he's still under the bus as far as I'm concerned. Okay. Okay, so it's set for a plea. Are all the plea papers set then?
I believe Mr. Nunez is working on that and filing the MTA as soon as possible.
That is correct, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Nunez, do that quickly.
Absolutely.
I don't want these plea papers to be the reason why we have to reset. We had to reset Ms. Lermas. Remember, I just got an email last night. We had to reset Lermas. Did we not do those plea papers on time?
I thought we had them in the file, Judge. That was my understanding. And
She said she got them late yesterday afternoon, set for a plea on Friday. I had to tell her, okay, continue it. I'm not going to force these attorneys to have to rush and do in-person stuff. So, Mr. Nunez, I don't know. I don't know what happened, but you guys need to send out those plea papers out quickly.
Yes, Your Honor.
As soon as they say, yes, we're going to please send them out.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Ms. Brown, so we're going to plea, you said in 2 weeks? Get those plea
It's
papers.
actually, It's set for next Friday, Judge. But I'm sure if Mr. Nunez is late with the paperwork, he will reduce the rec to TDC.
Yeah,
So either way, we'll be okay, you know?
Okay, Ms. Brown. I think that sounds like a fair exchange, Mr. Nunez. Okay. Set next week, get the plea paper done. Ms. Brown, anything else in this case?
No, Judge, thank you very much and have a good day, okay?
You too, you too. You stay safe out there. Mr. Nunez, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Goodbye, everybody. Have a good life. Tevin Robinson, 2018-2858, announcement of council, please.
David Nunez for the state, Your Honor. State is ready.
Edward Hernandez on behalf of Tevin Lakem Robinson. We're ready to proceed, Your Honor.
What's happening with Mr. Rob? Mr. Robinson, isn't that Mr. Other Robinson with?
No, Your
I'm
Honor.
confused with my Robinsons, right? The other Robinson has about 4 or 5 cases, right? This one doesn't.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. So do you waive Mr. Robinson's appearance, Mr.?
Yes, Your Honor. We've reached a plea agreement. We just need a setting with enough time to do the misdemeanor plea first, I believe.
Okay, is that the deal? Misdemeanor plea has to plead first, Mr. Nunez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
They sent the papers last night, so I just need to go see the client and get a setting on the misdemeanor.
So then, how you think if we set it up in 30 days or 40 days?
Maybe 2 weeks, Your Honor. That'll give me a week to do the misdemeanor plea, then the felony.
Okay, 2 weeks. Ms. Becky, see if we can accommodate 2 weeks. Meanwhile, Mr. Hernandez, do you have the felony plea papers yet or not?
They sent the plea papers last night, Your Honor. I haven't seen them yet, but we have them, so I'll just review everything and then go set up.
Okay. Ms. Becky, let's set this up in a couple of weeks. Anything else, Mr. Hernandez?
Nothing further, Your Honor. My excuse.
Anything else? Mr. Nunez.
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Nunez.
No, Your Honor.
No. Talk to me. Mr. Nunez, when I said I was a bit sick last night, but I was nevertheless on my emails. When I said to give me a brief summary, I feel really badly. You spent a lot of time giving me a brief summary of the facts of lots of the cases. Okay, that's not what I meant. So I'm sorry, you did all that work for nothing. And maybe it was my fault because I didn't explain to you appropriately. When you initiate the plea papers, right?
Yes,
I don't want a summary of the facts. Okay, because generally we've had 2 or 3 settlement conferences and I know that I've approved the plea. What I want is a summary of the plea agreement.
Got it, Judge.
2 years TDC, dismiss count 1, 1245 this and 1245B, and that's what I want because I'm trying to recreate the plea with the plea papers without a summary.
Done, Judge.
Of the plea agreement. So I thank you for those facts, but I felt really bad last night because you spent a lot of time doing that, sir. But that's not what I need. I need a summary of the actual plea agreement, not the facts.
Not a problem, Judge.
I'm sorry. Okay. So when you're starting to initiate these pleas, write down the plea agreement is 2 years, 100 hours community service, blah, blah, blah. That way I have a summary and I can quickly check to see if the paperwork complies with the summary.
Got it, Judge.
Okay, we got it. Mr. Martinez, did you hear that too?
Judge, I'm still going to continue to give lengthy summaries if I may.
You can do whatever you want.
Judge.
Spend your time. Okay, you guys. Thank you, Mr. Nunez. I explained that. Everybody may be dismissed. Mr. Hernandez, you may be dismissed. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The next case is Javier Padilla. Mr. Parra, at this time, court call 2019-1459, announcement of council, please.
David Nunez for the state, Your Honor. State is ready.
Manuel Parra for Mr. Padilla, Your Honor, also ready.
Is Mr. Padilla participating? Yes, he is.
Yes, Your Honor. I believe he entered early on.
Talk to me and say good morning.
Buenos dias. Always looking. I was wondering, is that on
Mr.
your?
Padilla, you agreed.
I'm sorry.
You agreed yesterday that you wouldn't speak out of turn, sir.
I'm sorry.
We're off to a bad start.
No, it's because I was admiring. No, I was admiring her on the left-hand side. I don't know what that is, the picture, but that's what I'm sorry. And you know, I'm sorry, Mr. Parra.
Mr. Parra, he forgot.
That's all
My
right, Your Honor. He's
psychiatrist has me carry around, my psychiatrist, carry around in my wallet that I have memory problems. So I have, my psychiatrist actually has me carry around one of those things.
He is certified by his psychiatrist as he does not remember. I want that kind of
Fair enough,
certification.
Judge.
I need that kind of certification too, Mr.
I'm going to see his doctor as well, Your Honor.
Honestly, no, you do not, because you do not, okay, like right now, my caregiver, my sister lives here. I don't know if you can see. My
Mr.
sister
Padilla,
lives here.
Mr. Padilla, let me interrupt you. You're not participating by video, so we can't see anything.
Oh, you can't? Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
You want to turn on your video so we can see
Can
you?
you turn it on? I'm sorry, it's because my caregiver is the one that.
Okay, tell Miss Caregiver to come and press a button so we can see you. There
Can you see me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm actually not allowed to, I have a caregiver in the morning, I have a caregiver in the afternoon, in the night. I can't go out by myself. I can't. It just
That's okay.
I have too much trauma, but yeah, Mr. Para, yeah, I know that, so I'll just be quiet.
Yes, Mr. Padilla, I want to thank you for your kind words. I want to thank you for wanting to speak to me. I do. I thank you for all of that. And you look like you have a very nice caregiver. Now, Mr. Padilla, do you see and recognize your attorney, Mr. Parra, on the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Parra, do you see and recognize your client as the defendant in this case? Mr. Parra? Did we lose?
Yes, Your Honor, I do. No, Your Honor.
Okay, great. Okay, let the record reflect that both have recognized each other. Do you have this is a settlement conference. Do you have an offer, Mr. Parra?
Yes, Your Honor, we do have an offer. I believe the offer that's on portal now is the same one that was extended by Mr. Martinez at the last hearing, Judge, one of 3 years TDC probated by 3 years straight probation. And that's one that we rejected at the time, and our position has not changed, Your Honor.
Okay, have you made do you think it would be, well, are you willing to make a counter offer, or you're not willing to accept any offers?
Short of a misdemeanor, Your Honor, we're not willing to accept any offers or consider any offers.
You won't accept deferred?
Your Honor, that's something my client and I would have to discuss, but I know our conferences so far have talked about misdemeanor as a goal, if not dismissal altogether, considering some of the facts Your Honor may recall.
Okay, sir. Mr. Nunez, would you consider deferred or misdemeanor in this case, one or the other?
I would want to talk to Mr. Martinez about it. It went down from 7 straight, Your Honor, to 3 straight. I mean, I don't think we're far off, but I mean, I definitely want a conference.
Let me tell you, I have a lot of compassion for this young man. He's got mental health issues. We know that, right? He's got a psychiatrist. He's got lots of mental health care issues. He's got a health care provider. Do you understand how sometimes when they speak to me, Mr. Parra, it moves my heart? It moves my heart. So as much as you attorneys don't want to, and I understand that, but a lot of times it moves my heart, and I'm compassionate for you, Mr. Padilla. And
thank you, ma'am.
And if does he have an extensive history? If he doesn't, why not a misdemeanor?
He does. I mean, not an extensive history, Judge. He does have a conviction for injury to a child. Elderly,
conviction for what?
Injury to a child.
He has a state jail trip.
He's been to the state jail facility?
Yes, Your Honor.
For a what?
Injury to a child or elderly. I'm not sure which one.
Can I say
no, Mr. Padilla? I'd rather you not, Mr. Padilla.
Mr. Padilla.
I want to tell her.
Mr. Padilla, not at this time,
yes,
please.
I know. Mr. Padilla, don't worry about it. It doesn't impact me. That's not impacting me at all.
It's not to a child. Somebody tried taking advantage of me.
Mr. Padilla, I urge you please not to discuss that at this time.
Yeah, Mr. Padilla. Yeah, that doesn't impact me at all. I still have lots of compassion. So Mr. Padilla, don't worry. Don't worry. I have lots of compassion for you. I still want a misdemeanor or deferred for him. Talk to Mr. Martinez Mr. Nunez, you know,
Yes.
this gentleman, I think, also has comprehension issues too. You know, probably runs the gamut of what is his diagnosis, Mr. Parra? Do you know his mental illness?
Your Honor, I'll be frank. Our discussions leading up to this point really hadn't led me to the point of considering any kind of a motion for competency or anything like that. Today is one of the first times he mentions his mental health more so than his epilepsy. You might remember from other hearings, we usually focus on that.
Oh, I remember the epilepsy. Now I remember the.
And sorry, Judge, I'm having camera issues as well.
Okay.
There we
so
are.
Now I remember. Now I remember the gentleman. When you said epilepsy, I do remember. Yeah. I don't think, well, I don't, if you need to follow your motion for competency, sir, I mean, I'm not going to tell you how to do it. Speak to him a little bit more. See if you need to file a motion for competency. I don't think he's there. I don't think he's there. Can I ask him the questions that are necessary, Mr. Parra?
Your Honor, I prefer we reserve that for the evaluation itself.
No, no. Can I please? No, I want to talk to her. Can I please talk to her? Please
Your
let me
Honor, and
talk.
I'd request at this point, at perhaps counsel's request, that the courts perhaps mute Mr. Padilla, considering the motions that we are discussing at the time.
It's because they've already tested me for the Social Security already tested me mentally.
He's Mr. Padilla.
And I didn't even, ma'am, I didn't even sleep last night because.
Hang on. I can't let you speak because your attorney has asked me to mute you. So I've got to honor what he is saying, what he's requesting, sir.
Your Honor, I'm reviewing his file now, and I know that one of the things brings up, one of the documents, I apologize, brings up PTSD and a secondary diagnosis of pain disorder with psychological features. And I believe today he mentioned his depression, Judge, and this document mentions that as well.
I know, but all of that doesn't necessarily mean he's legally
Correct, Your Honor. And Your Honor, frankly, no discussion to this point has given reason to that concern, has given rise to that concern, sorry.
I don't think he's there. I don't think he's incompetent. I just want to give him some kind of probation so that we can help him with his mental health issues, with his PTSD, so that we can just help him. I moved to help you, Mr. Padilla. Okay, Mr. Martinez.
This is the one I remember last time where he had a bottle of a THC liquid, right? And I remember Mr. Bada said last time that the THC was like less than a gram. I remember we had the discussion where whatever substance contains the THC counts as the drug itself. You know what I mean? That's like an adulterant or dilutant. Anyway, so just because I was thinking about this case, I said, yeah, so that's what this one is. Judge, well, you know, I understand the judges your concern, Your Honor. The rec right now, like Mr. Nunez said, is 3 years straight, 0 fine, 100 hours of community service, drug counseling, UABA curfew. We can, you know, just extend maybe for like a month, all of the same conditions, but 3 deferred.
Okay, that sounds good. I'm happy.
With of course a screening for the mental health caseload as well.
Of course. I think deferred is awesome, Mr. Parra. I don't know what you're thinking about that, but I think that's an awesome deal for Mr. Padilla. That gives me time to work with him, to help him, right? To, you know, just to get him as stable as we can. I think that's good. Mr. Parra, can we set this up for another settlement conference in 3 weeks to see if you're going to proceed with a motion for competency or not, or what you're going to do?
Yes, Your Honor. I think that's fair, Judge. If we don't proceed with that, perhaps I could also give us enough time to discuss whether or not to set it for a plea before that.
Absolutely.
Okay, Judge.
Up for another settlement conference in 3 weeks. Mr. Padilla, you take care of yourself. We're going to see you in another 3 weeks. Call your attorney, talk to your attorney. He has some stuff he wants to discuss with you. Okay, Mr. Padilla? Very good. Be safe, Mr. Padilla. Be safe out there. And thank you so much, Mr. Padilla, for your kind remarks. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Y'all may be excused. Have a great day. You may leave, Mr. Parra. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Yesay Carrillo is the next one. Is anybody here for Benjamin Brock? Miss Becky, can you call Benjamin Brock? We'll get to that one in a minute. The next one is Maureen Gonzalez. Is everybody there for Maureen Gonzalez?
Yes, Judge.
Good. Where's Maureen Gonzalez? Is she participating? Rick, do you see Maureen?
She's on mute. No, she's off. She's off mute.
Okay, I'm right here.
Okay, there you are, Ms. Gonzalez. Clause number 2014-4802, Maureen Gonzalez.
David Nunez for the state, Your Honor. Stage is ready.
Ana Torres, ready.
Sorry, go ahead. Thank you, Ms. Torres. I'm sorry I interrupted you. And Ms. Gonzalez, you are there participating, or you are here participating without an attorney, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and you know this is an admonishment hearing. It's a scolding, right? You're doing something you're not supposed to be doing, or vice versa. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're okay if I proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, very well. Okay, Ms. Torres, talk to me about Ms. Gonzalez.
Yes, Your Honor, I had emailed you to let you know that Ms. Gonzalez failed to report for a UA as instructed on June 22nd. She did report for the drug test on June 26th and tested negative. And I had also advised you that she was gonna term in August and still had a remaining balance of 56 hours. And you did request for me to speak to her about the 4-year extension, which she did agree to, and then you requested an admonishment hearing.
How many, a 4-year extension, I said?
Yes.
Why 4 years? Do you have any insight as to why I said 4 years?
No, Your Honor, but you did mention on the email that if Ms. Gonzalez completed everything, that you would grant her an early discharge.
Early discharge, okay. Okay, you know, Ms. Gonzalez, there's no excuse. You've been on probation since 2014.
Yes, ma'am, and I understand that.
All of your term, you can't even say, oh, I can't do community service, judge, it's Corona. Corona, I can't do community service hours. You can't even say that. You've been on probation since 2014. You just haven't made this a priority.
I understand, Your Honor.
Okay, first of all. Second of all, ma'am, you know, you're not the boss of you when it comes to UAs.
No, ma'am.
I'm the boss of you.
Yes, ma'am.
So what makes you think you can check in for a UA 4 days after they ask you to check in?
I did went ahead and mention to my probation officer at the time I did not have the money to pay for my UA. I did get paid on Friday, and as soon as I got paid, I went ahead and did the UA. And then I did get in contact with her on Monday, and I did another UA as well.
Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
On the day that I requested the drug test on June 22nd, she did not report she had no money until I saw that she did not report for the UA. That's when I called her and she mentioned she did not have money.
Yes, ma'am. That's right.
Okay. Why didn't you, the minute she said, please go do a UA, why didn't you tell her then, Ms. Gonzalez? You know what, Ms. Torres, I don't have money. What do I do? I don't have money. Why didn't you do it?
I just didn't think about it, Your Honor.
Well, you didn't take care of yourself, because that's the appropriate thing. Ms. Torres, I can't go, I don't have any money. Are you working, Ms. Gonzalez, right now?
Yes, ma'am. I've been working for 6 years.
Where?
At Wendy's.
Where?
Wendy's.
Wendy's, okay, ma'am.
Yes.
Good, ma'am, good. So you've not, well, for a while you weren't working, right?
We reduced the hours to 3 hours with the corona, and now we're doing our 40 hours at this time.
Are you understanding her, Miss Garza, Miss Anita?
Yeah, for the most part, Judge.
Okay, good, because I'm not. Can you translate for her?
She's back to 40. She's back to 40 hours. She started with 3 hours, and now she's back to 40 hours.
Thank you so much, Miss Gonzalez. I can't understand you. Maybe you're too close to your microphone because it's very close. You think that's the problem?
How about there?
Okay, maybe. Okay.
Okay.
Your Honor.
Yes.
If I may,
I just kind of find it hard to believe that she didn't have $12 to pay for a drug test. She's employed. Her boyfriend that lives with her is employed. She has 3 adult daughters that lives with her that all are employed. It's just hard to believe, Your Honor.
I think you're right. I agree with you, Ms. Torres. Okay, explain to me with 3 adult daughters, a boyfriend living with you, why you couldn't say, hey, somebody give me $12.
My daughters do have the car payments. They try to help me as much as I can. I did mention to Ms. Torres that my rent is $1,200 plus the bills. So most of our money goes to the rent.
That I didn't get.
Can you hear me when I say stop, Ms. Gonzalez?
Yes,
Okay,
I can hear you.
So stop. When I say stop, stop, because we can't understand a word you're saying. Okay, get further away from the speaker. Mr. Salazar, is that the problem?
It might be that is the problem. Plus, I don't know if she's wearing headphones. No, it doesn't look like she's wearing any earphones or something.
Yes.
Are you? Are you wearing earphones?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it might be that they're kind of too close to her.
Do I just take it off the phone?
Well, I think you need to sit down. I don't want you roaming, walking around. That's a little distracting, and I'm getting nauseated. So the first thing you need to do is just sit down. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, now take off the earphones, and let's see if that helps better. Okay, can you talk to me?
Yes.
Yes, it's better. Maybe those earphones don't work very well. Okay, repeat everything you just were going to tell me, ma'am. When I said stop, stop, stop 8 times.
I have all my kids with me. Yeah, everybody does work, but with the little money that everybody puts in, I pay my rent, I pay the car, I pay bills. I honestly, this has been the first time that I missed a UA. I mean, I didn't have the money. I honestly didn't.
Where does your boyfriend work?
Right now, he's unemployed. He did lose his job due to Corona. He used to work for Sugar Rights in Sunland Park.
For who?
Sugar Rights.
What is that?
They make the syrup like for the Monsters, the Coca-Cola products, Jolly Ranchers, stuff like that.
So he lost his job?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The company actually closed because it's too many people in contact.
Is he employed now?
Their notice.
Is he employed now? Did he go back?
No, ma'am.
Not yet. Oh. So it's your income and then your children, your adult children, are they working?
Judge, may I?
2 of them.
Yes.
Actually, on 6/22, I conducted an assessment on Mrs. Gonzalez, and at that time, 6/22/20, she did report that her boyfriend was employed. Was employed. He was working 6/22/20, and on 6/26/20 was when 6/22 was the day that she failed to report for the UA. So at that time that she reported to me he was working.
Okay. On 6/22, was he working, Miss Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am, he was. At this moment, he's not employed.
Okay, ma'am, I wasn't asking at this moment. Okay, maybe I was. Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe you lied to me. I think you're lying to me. I think you're lying to me. Because I think you use the excuse that my husband got fired because of the corona, or my boyfriend, I'm sorry. My boyfriend got fired because of the corona. That's why I didn't go get a UA. That's why he couldn't loan me money. But he was employed June 22nd. So why did you give me that excuse? Why did you give me that excuse?
I apologize, Your Honor.
Yeah, no. You were trying to mislead me. That's what you were trying to do. And if you were in my courtroom right now, I'd put you in jail for 30 days for lying to me. You don't lie to me. Okay, Ms. Torres, what's about appropriate sanction? What do we do? I think she's doing drugs. Are you doing drugs, Ms. Gonzalez?
No, Your Honor.
I don't know if I believe that because you just lied to me 2 minutes ago, trying to mislead me. Okay. How do you have transportation, ma'am?
My daughter drives me around.
Okay. How come you don't drive and have a car?
I had a car, but the water pump broke, so we're in the process of fixing it.
Okay. So your daughter's driving you back and forth to work right now?
Yes, ma'am.
You work today at Wendy's?
No, ma'am.
Okay. The only thing that's going to save her, Ms. Torres, is if she does a UA today. When was the last time she did a UA, Ms. Torres?
On June 26th, Your Honor.
Holy moly, yeah. Yeah. You're going to go by the end, 5 o'clock today, you're going to go get a UA.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay?
Yes.
If it's negative, I don't want you to use any excuses anymore.
Yes, Your Honor.
Bills, lost jobs, coronavirus, because that has nothing to do with you not being able to get $12 for a UA.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
If it's negative, we ignore it, and she better not do it again, Ms. Torres.
Yes.
If it's positive, a bench warrant, and she's going to jail. You want to tell me something right now, Ms. Gonzalez? You want to tell me if it's going to be positive? That'll go a long way.
No, Your Honor, it's going to be negative.
Okay, very good. And you better go today at 5 o'clock.
As soon as we're done with this court, I'm on my way over there.
And this better not happen again, Ms. Gonzalez.
It won't, Your Honor.
Now, she's going to be put 4 more years, right? So she can finish everything she has to do. You just haven't given this court priority, Ms. Gonzalez. Car payments are much more important than this court. And guess what? I can put you in jail in 2 minutes.
I understand.
Nobody else can do that. So I should be number 1 in your book.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, let's hope.
Judge, may I, Judge?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge Runhead, I also have a problem with Ms. Gonzalez answering her phone. I'm constantly calling her. She doesn't answer the phone. And it's really exhausting, Judge. If we could also please just tell Ms. Gonzalez that I need her to pick up the phone when instructed.
Well, you know what? I can understand, Ms. Gonzalez. You're doing very poorly on probation. What's your problem?
I actually work from 5 to 3 in the morning. So when I get home, I do turn off my phone.
You work from 5 in the evening?
Yes,
to
ma'am.
3 o'clock in the morning now?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that Wendy's is open till 3 o'clock in the morning?
It's open till 2, but we have to do the cleaning and the sanitizing and everything. So we're all like about 2:30, but 2:45. By the time that I get home, it's like 3. I turn off my phone, but I turn it back on when I wake up.
Okay, so
And I
when
go
you
back
turn it back on and wake up and you have a phone call from Ms. Torres, do you call her back?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
Does she call you back, Ms. Torres?
Actually, Judge, these are on scheduled dates that she knows of her appointments, and I'm gonna call her and I tell her, please pick up your phone. I'm gonna call you at this time. She doesn't, Your Honor, and it's just been a hassle.
Schedule appointments for what? To report to you?
Yes, that I'm gonna tell her, yes, I'm gonna call you on this day at this time. So she knows of these appointments. And then I have to call her back and I have a hard time getting a hold of her, Judge.
Is that true, Ms. Gonzalez?
Yes, Your Honor.
So what's the problem? What's your problem? This is for reporting to your probation officer. You don't want to report. You don't do UAs. You're not doing anything Ms. Torres is asking you to do. What's the problem?
I do apologize, Your Honor.
No, I didn't ask for an apology. What's your problem? That's what I want to know. What's your problem? What's thinking in your head that I'm going to ignore my felony court judge? I'm going to ignore my felony court probation officer. I'm just going to do whatever the heck I want to do. That's what I want to know. What's your problem? I'm giving you every opportunity to explain yourself.
There's no explanation, Your Honor.
Okay, now, because she's being so non-compliant on probation, giving you such a hard time, she's out there in the world earning money. She probably doesn't have a fear of the coronavirus because she's working at a restaurant. You're going to go do, what community service can she do extra to stay out of jail because of her attitude? Anything, Ms. Torres?
No, Judge, unfortunately at this time, everything's closed.
Even the food bank? What's happening with the food?
I did call the food bank so I could finish my community service hours. And they told me that they will go ahead and get back to me.
Yeah, but when was that? How long ago was that?
I believe I asked Ms. Torres on the last time that I reported with her. She did give me the advice that I could go to the food bank. That's probably the only place that's open.
What was the day? I want to know the day that they said, I'll call you back.
On Tuesday of last week.
Judge, the only bank that I mentioned that we discussed was the 171st Food Bank.
Mm-hmm.
Did you explain to her what it is, Ms. Torres?
She's aware, Your Honor. She's already donated to your food bank before.
So did she misunderstand then? What did she mean when she said, oh, and then they said they'd call you back?
No, I called the food bank from, it came out in like in a little, it's just the food bank from El Paso. But I still pending, I believe 12 hours.
You're
I
lying
did
to
turn
me
in.
again. You just said Ms. Torres told you to go to the food bank.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
they said they would call you back.
Yes, ma'am. I did call the food bank and I have the number.
To call the food bank. She told you to call the 171st food bank, and we don't have volunteers.
Oh no, I called the food bank.
Does she have comprehension issues, Ms. Torres?
I don't know, Your Honor.
Are you having problems understanding me and understanding your probation officer?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, then what's the problem? Okay, I'm going to add, she's got to complete, in lieu of, because of your bad attitude, your non-compliant behavior, you think you're the boss of you really have to be called 1,000 times to report, and that's just not right. I'm adding 25 more hours of community service, 25, and she's got to complete that within 60 days. If there's a problem, if nothing is open, I will understand that and I'll give her an extension. But she's got to complete 25 hours more, so maybe she can get an attitude adjustment as she's doing community service within 60 days. Ms. Torres, she doesn't complete it. There's an issue with this community service, right? No, nothing is still open. I'll take that and I'll give her another 60-day extension. But you're going to do 25 hours more because you don't seem to understand that you're not the boss of you, Ms. Gonzalez. I am, and Ms. Torres is. Any more non-compliant behavior anymore? If Ms. Torres reports to me that she has problems, Ms. Torres, you shouldn't be calling her on the day that she has to report. She should be calling you, right? You call her up and you say, you have an appointment, you have to report on August the 5th at 2 o'clock. So do you call her August 5th at 2 o'clock?
I call my clients, yes, Judge.
Why?
Because it's easier for me, because sometimes we have important things that come up, and then I can call 3 minutes later, or, you know, prioritize. So it's easier for me to call my clients, but they know to expect my call at that time. So they, all my clients, they pick up, you know, I don't have a problem, Judge.
Okay. Okay, well, I don't think you should be babysitting your clients and call them on a reporting day, but that's your preference. And I'm not going to tell you how to do your job, and you seem to be more efficient. So, okay. Any more problems with her not picking up the phone at a designated reporting? One more time that happens, you let me know. That's going to be a bench warrant. I don't care, coronavirus or no coronavirus in jail. That's going to be a bench warrant because you can't even do the minimal, which is report. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very well. Okay, Ms. Torres, anything else?
No, you're good, Judge. Thank you.
Okay, do we need to have another status on this, or I will depend on you, Ms. Torres, that you are diligent, and you are, that you will report to me any non-compliant behavior?
Yes, Your Honor.
I hope you change your attitude, Ms. Gonzalez, because I'm going to put you in jail, coronavirus or no coronavirus.
I will, Your Honor.
Start behaving. Okay, everybody, have a good life.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Juan Caldera, is everybody there for Juan Caldera? That's Carpio, 2014, 5862, 2017, 2417. Announcement of council, please.
David Nunez for the state, Your Honor. State is ready.
Carpenter without probation, Your Honor.
Okay. What is happening with this case?
He hasn't reported, Judge, and he hasn't done his UA since March.
Yeah, Mr. Caldera is not participating here right now, is he?
I don't see him, Judge. I did call him. I did send him 2 emails with the links, and I also did a home visit yesterday, leaving him a court setting with the link.
Okay, so you've done all of that. We're going to issue out a bench warrant.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah. Manufacture, delivery of a controlled substance. Holy moly. No. This is serious business. Bench warrant, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Failure to appear as well as failure to report and all of that. At least have
Yes,
2. Okay. Ms. Carpio, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you may be excused. Thank you. Jesse Chavez is the next one. Is Ms. Calvo on? I didn't let Ms. Calvo in.
No, Judge, it's me. I'm his probation officer.
Okay. At this time, court calls number 2016-3748. Announcement of council, please.
David Nunez for the state, Your Honor. State is ready.
Alexander Alvarado with adult probation.
Good. Okay, Ms. Alvarado. Thank you. Can you give me Mr. Chavez? You're there, right?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here.
Okay, and you do recognize Mr. Chavez, Ms. Alvarado?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, and Mr. Alvarado, you recognize Ms. Alvarado, Mr. Chavez, you recognize your probation officer, Ms. Alvarado, right?
Because due to the corona, it's my first time seeing her, actually.
Oh, okay. This is the first time you've seen him, Ms. Alvarado?
Yes, Judge, but I do have his photo on Odyssey, so I recognize.
That's how you recognized him. Okay. Okay. Do you have any doubt that Ms. Alvarado is not your probation officer? At least do you recognize her voice, Mr. Chavez? Have you spoken to her?
Yes, I've spoken to her plenty, Ms. Your Honor.
Let the record reflect that both have recognized each other by some means. Okay, Ms. Alvarado, talk to me.
So yes, Judge, Ms. Calvo and I did go ahead and send you an email about Mr. Chavez. He was placed on probation back in January 20th, 2017. He has completed his classes, which is the repeat offenders, the VIP. He did his 10 days ACOP, and then he completed his substance abuse treatment through EHN. He has paid off his court costs and fines, but he is missing his supervision fees and he's pending community service. And on the last time he was in court was April 4th of 2019, and you allowed for him to remove his SoberLink device. And he was also let go to Houston, to Harris County.
Are you in Houston, Mr. Chavez?
Oh, Your Honor, I am not. I am here in El Paso County.
Yes, Judge. Since then, he has come back.
Okay.
He would his supervision over there was termed on March 9th.
Why?
Because he did come back to El Paso and got admitted to treatment. So he's been in and out of treatment since January of the beginning of this year.
What kind of treatment did he come back to?
So he was first at the Peak Behavioral Health.
Okay.
In January 28th, 2020 through February 28th, 2020. After that, he did go back to Houston, and he claims that he did suffer another mental breakdown, and he was admitted to a facility over there by the name of Henry Brendan, just for a couple of days in Austin. And then on the 1st of April, he ended up in Phoenix in a facility called Recovery in Motion, which is, in Tucson. I'm sorry, Tucson. And then throughout this whole, we did see that he was in contact with Ms. Mary Vite, which was his probation officer at the time, and his officer in Houston. He was calling them back and forth, and they did verify that. And then on the 28th, he made contact with this office with Ms. Vite not being here.
28th of what?
Of May.
Okay, and what did he do?
He made contact and let us know that he was out of the Recovery in Motion from Arizona, and he was back in El Paso trying to get a stable place of living, where he's living with his sister now. And then on the 9th, he did get an appointment for EHN, since he did express that he was unstable, so he got an appointment of June.
Who's trying to call you? Tell him to answer the phone and tell him stop calling. You're on a Zoom hearing.
I'm sorry, Judge. It's my reporting period. So a lot of people are reporting to me.
Oh my God.
Sorry, Judge.
Okay.
All right. And then on the 29th.
He has a what? June the 9th, he had a what?
No, so the June the 9th is when he reported to us to this office, and he was sent for a UA and an ETG.
What were the results of that?
So for that one, he went on, let me get the exact date. So he went on the 11th, and his UA was positive for benzos, but he claims that he was on medication, so he has a prescription for that. And then for alcohol, he came back negative.
Did you see the prescription for the benzos?
I have not, Your Honor, because of course, the only way is through email, and I didn't even ask him for that because he went straight into, after that, he went straight into the EOU to get admitted into Trinity for detox, because he did admit to me that he was using meth and abusing his medication.
He admitted to meth.
Correct.
Okay.
So then he went into Trinity. He was admitted into Trinity on the 29th of June through the EOU, and he was in Trinity until the 11th of July, where he was discharged, not because he was done, but he had to get released because there was a positive test of COVID in the facility, so they discharged everybody. And right now he is pending admission into Casa Vida. I did speak to Mario, which is the gentleman helping him to get into it, and he did tell me that there's a possibility he can get in today or tomorrow. Just depends if his intakes do show up. If they don't, then he would have to wait until the following Friday.
Okay, Mr. Chavez. Wow. You've been all over the place trying to get treatment, sir.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm trying to get better.
I commend you for that. For that, I commend you, sir. And it looks like, and it sounds like it's a struggle.
It's been 8 rough months, man. 8 rough months.
Now, when did you start using meth?
About up in Houston, I took a position I wasn't ready for, and that just went downhill from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long was you in Houston? 2 years ago? 3 years ago? Houston?
I was in Houston for about a year. It would be 2 years now, for about a year and a half, maybe. But I didn't start using till about 6-7 months into Houston, very lightly. But then I just can't seem to get up from it.
No, you can't. You need help. For meth,
I do.
For meth, you need help. And the sad thing that I see here happening is you went from alcohol to meth. You just replaced one substance with another, and still that addictive behavior is there, not been taken care of. Okay. Now, who picked Casa Vida for you?
When I called Alejandra, I said I need help. They sent me to the crisis center. They sent me to Trinity. And then the people at Trinity, my caseworker, whoever was helping me, called Mario. They told me about the program. And they mentioned another one in Sierra Blanca, something on the rocks or something like that. And I said, whatever the court decides, I said, I already let my PO know. Whatever they decide is whatever they recommend, my PO and the judge.
Right now, Mr. Chavez, you're not working.
No.
Good. Now, the other thing, I think Casa Vida, I understand Casa Vida charges like $500 a month. Did you know that?
No, I wasn't able because I went through the CRU program or something like that, where EHN helps you get in there.
Miss Alvarado, my understanding, Casa Vida charges. How can he get into Casa Vida?
Judge, I was not aware of that. The only reason that Casa Vida did come up was because he did mention I have the option of Casa Vida, and I asked him, if you feel like you need the help, if you feel like you need it, then that's where you want to go.
Call Mario right now. It's $400 or $500 a month for Casa Vida, unless they're doing some exceptions. Mr. Chavez, is this the first time you're hearing the Casa Vida charges?
This is the first time that Mario ever tells me, Juanita, anyone from Trinity or anything, or from Casa Vida, they ever tell me that there is a charge.
Mario tell you or not tell you?
No, like I said.
Now, Ms. Alvarado.
Yeah, I'm looking for his contact information, Judge.
Do you have Mario's number, Mr. Chavez?
Give me a second, yes.
Yes. Yeah, they charge.
I found it, Judge.
Good. Call Mario and ask him. Yeah, Mr. Chavez, they charge, and you don't have any insurance, do you, Mr. Chavez?
If it was to be $400 or $500 a month, I have a supportive family that can help me out through this first couple of months till I get back working, get better. You know,
No, I don't know if Casa Vida allows you. I don't know if Casa Vida allows you to work.
I understand.
Is Casa Vida allowing you to work?
I think after 90 days, I believe.
Well, see, your family has to support you for 90 days there until you can go out and get a job. There it is. That's why I don't think Casa Vida is viable, and it makes me kind of angry that nobody told you this or nobody knows this unless somebody's going to foot the bill.
Judge, if I may?
Yes.
Judge, I was just informed that Casa Vida does have grants at times as well and does help clients with that. But of course, that's something we would need to confirm and find out.
Okay, that's what we need to know. Is he eligible for a grant? Are they considering for? They said he's going to go in tomorrow, Miss Evanette. I mean, Casa Vida, this is tomorrow or next week. Have you submitted financial information to Casa Vida, Mr. Chavez?
Yes, I have, ma'am. And like I said, I was accepted through HN through a program called the CRU, where I think it's depending on the drug or something like that. They qualify you to financially help you to even do the detox. You have to go through that program to go through Trinity. And I was there for 12 days, 12 days, I believe. Until that coronavirus case happened there. We were discharged just now.
Okay, well, that's what I want to know. If you're eligible for some kind of financial aid and they're thinking, that's awesome, Mr. Chavez. Okay, need a couple more minutes. If that doesn't happen, don't leave. We'll wait till Miss Alejandra gets off the phone, and I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to go on to the next case, Mr. Chavez. Mute yourself, but don't leave, okay?
Yes, sir.
See what Miss Alejandra finds out. Thank you, sir. The next one is Nicholas Smith. Is anybody here for Mr. Jesse Valdez?
Good morning, Your Honor. It's Ms. Frosto here for Mr. Smith.
At this time, court calls. Is Nicholas Smith on, Mr.? Yeah, he is.
Yes.
2018-495, Nicholas Smith, announcement of council, please.
David Nunez for the state, Your Honor. State is ready.
Sandra Esmeralda Frausto with adult probation, Your Honor.
Good. Mr. Smith, where are you, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Good morning, Mr. Smith. How are you this morning?
Doing very well, thank you.
Good, sir. Do you see and recognize Ms. Frausto as one of your, or your POs in this case, probation officer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and Ms. Frausto, do you see and recognize Mr. Smith as the probationer in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let the record reflect both parties have recognized each other. Ms. Frausto, talk to me about this case, please.
Okay, Your Honor. We had an admonishment hearing, Your Honor, on June the 11th, where the court addressed a positive UA that Mr. Smith had provided to the lab on June the 2nd. So on June 2nd, Mr. Smith tested positive. We held a hearing and admonishment on June the 11th, Your Honor. And the court at this time admonished Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith, the court suspended 10 days jail time and allowed Mr. Smith to provide a business plan to the court within 60 days.
What did he test positive for June 2nd?
It was methamphetamine, Your Honor.
You don't have to say anything else. I remember this case.
And Your Honor, I submitted an email to the court on June the 29th to follow up because Mr. Smith provided another positive UA on June the 23rd. And it was positive again for methamphetamine, Your Honor. Mr. Smith has been attending TAP, Your Honor, with our counselor here. Initially, his level of treatment was supportive outpatient, but because of the UA, Your Honor, on the 23rd, he was increased to intensive outpatient. And Mr. Smith, I've been working with EHN, Your Honor, to get him set up with mental health treatment as well. So since this email to the court on June the 29th, Your Honor, Mr. Smith was instructed to provide another UA, Your Honor, on July the 9th, and he has not gone to the lab since then, Your Honor. However, he did admit to me, Your Honor, that he's been using.
Every other day, meth.
Yes.
I remember. Okay.
So, Mr. Smith, Your Honor, Ms., we've been trying to help Mr. Smith, you know, get him involved more with our TAP counselor, intensive outpatient treatment, Your Honor, over the phone, of course, because of COVID. And Mr. Smith has expressed to me, Your Honor, that he feels that TAP over the phone has not been helping him. He did express that he would benefit more in getting face-to-face treatment, talking to someone face-to-face. But Your Honor, I mean, I did try to explain to him, you know, that given the whole situation with COVID at this time, face-to-face, Your Honor, is nearly impossible. Everyone is just doing everything over the phone at this time. Mr. Smith has been given notice in advance when his TAP sessions are going to be with the counselor, and Mr. Smith doesn't make, you know, the proper arrangements, Your Honor, to be available for the counselor. He tells her, can you call me back? Can I call you back in 20 minutes? So the sessions with the counselor have not been what they need to be.
Okay, Mr. Smith, what do you have to tell me?
Everything she said is correct, Your Honor.
Okay, sir. I think you need to go into jail, get cleaned up, and go to a facility. That's what needs to happen with you, sir. Meth is something that's difficult to break. You're doing it every other day. You need to, the TAP, you're not taking advantage of TAP, sir. You don't want any internet kind of counseling and therapy. You're saying it's not working for you. Okay.
Well, it's not the internet or anything. It's just on the phone. It's just a voice.
Okay, and the voice doesn't help? No? Okay. I mean, everybody has their different, what they need.
But you can't really relate to anybody or be relatable.
Right.
When you've never met.
Why don't you ask for Zoom or FaceTime or something? And isn't that possible through TAP, Ms. Frausto?
At this time, I'm not aware of anything like that, Your Honor. All I know it is over the phone.
Okay, I don't understand why TAP can't join the 21st century, do Zoom, do GoToMeetings, Microsoft Teams, something where you can see the face. I don't understand, but okay. Mr. Smith, would you be willing to turn yourself in and wait for a facility? I think that's what you need. And I don't want you out there in the streets because you're going to do meth every other day.
I don't think the facility is the way to go.
You don't think what, sir?
I don't think a facility is the way to go.
Okay, sir.
That's your
addictive behavior and rationalization thinking.
Not necessarily, but
right.
I just think that real world issues arise that you don't experience or cope with in a locked up facility. And since my problems are basically social in nature, that taking me out of society thinking that I'm gonna get better and then dropping me back in is not, to me, it's not a conducive form of treatment. No,
Okay.
like, well, where it's type to be like normal, or things are things to be normal, there'd be a lot more interactions and
Sir,
treatment.
sir, hang on, sir. We're not understanding you. You're coming in and out. So,
Sorry, there must be a connection.
okay, sir. So keep speaking, sir.
Well, what I told Ms. Paso is that
Stop, sir. We can't understand you. Maybe get away from the microphone. Rick, away from the microphone, or?
No, I think
Is
it's
that
his
better?
internet. I think it's his internet, Judge.
Okay, the
Can you
video.
hear me, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear
Go
me?
ahead. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
What I told Ms. Paso is that my problems are generally social in nature. And so, like I said, I'm taking me out of society to clean me up. Doesn't really give me the coping skills and the necessary tools to deal with those. However, I already told it that if things were normal, like TAP was normal, and had the classes you go to where you interact with people going through the same stuff, like, but yet you're still in society, so you have to work on the actual stuff that you learned that day while, you know, traversing the path, so to speak. I think that's more beneficial because it's like, it's more based on reality.
And Mr. Smith, I might agree with you, but that's impossible right now. That's not something we have control over, and there's nothing we can do about it.
I
So
understand.
we've got to adapt and change. Well, I agree with you. There's nothing we can do. This pandemic is kicking our ass. There's nothing we can do about it. And yet, meanwhile, every other day you're doing meth. And I can't deal with that either.
Due to the virus that is correct is, but I feel like I told her, due to the virus, like maybe the system failed me a little bit, like with the actual support I needed when I got out. And now, since full services aren't really being rendered at this moment, then I see a facility more as a punishment than a reform.
Okay, sir. Okay, we've
And
never.
under normal,
Okay, and you can see it that way, sir, and I respect your opinion. It is not a punishment. I'm not putting you in a facility for punishment. I'm putting you in a facility to try to save your life. We've never tried it before. That's the only thing we've got available to us right now. And that's what we're going to have to do, sir. I mean, that's all we've got. And I can't let you be doing meth every other day out there and frying your brain with battery acid or rat poison, because that's what's in meth. You knew that, right? Rat poison, battery acid, God knows whatever the hell, corrosive devices, corrosive stuff they put into meth. That's just not going to happen under my watch. So you've got to be put in a facility where you can be stopped physically from doing that to yourself. And that's the jail. That's the only option I have to try to save your life. So if you think it's a sanction, sir, okay, I can't change your mind, maybe I can with what I'm telling you right now, but it's not a sanction. I'm here to try to save your life. Okay. So I'm going to issue out a bench warrant, sir, for you. I suggest that you turn yourself in because I think you need it to save your life. To save your life. Okay. Anything else you want to tell me, Mr. Smith? And we'll just take it from there. The first available facility, sir, you'll go to. When and if they open, they say they're open, they're taking people, but they've got to take extra precautions. That's the email we got last night. Okay. So the facilities, West Texas, RSAT, those places are open. It's just the process to get in is slow, right? And the list may be a bit long right now. but they are open and taking people in processing. And the only way they can take them is if they are assured that you are cleaned up, you don't have any drugs in your system when they take you. So I've got to put you in jail to clean you up. On this bench warrant, I think we need to put that the meth protocol has to be when and if he's picked up or if you turn yourself in. We need to say the meth protocol needs to be followed because he's been doing meth every other day. We've got to give the jail the notice in case Mr. Smith decides not to give him the notice. Mr. Smith, do you think you'll turn yourself in or we're going to have to go hunt you down?
I'll turn myself down.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Your Honor.
Yes?
And if I may add, Your Honor, I have submitted the screener profile for Mr. Smith through BHRTC. He does qualify, Your Honor. And the counselor is recommending that at this time. So just to add to what you were telling Mr. Smith, Your Honor, he does need to go on the waiting list and we can definitely get him on the list so that he doesn't have to wait too long.
Do you see, Mr. Smith, your counselor pretty much said it. I didn't know that. Your counselor said it. We're trying everything we can do to help you to expedite the process. You just heard Ms. Frausto. Honest to God, I hope you believe we're trying to help you and not punish you. But I can't, I can't say enough to convince you otherwise, but this is not a punishment in any way, shape, or form in my book. I'm not being mean and ugly and putting you in jail. I'm putting you in jail because I want to save your life. Right, Ms. Frausto?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I gave you an opportunity to do it in the free world because I remember you told me you were an entrepreneur and you wanted to start your business, and I was 100% behind you. And I gave you every opportunity for you to do it your own time, your own pace, your own way, Mr. Smith. That didn't work. Look where we're at right now.
I understand.
So trust me, if you think it's a punishment and I'm being mean and ugly, I'd have been mean and ugly at the very beginning. And I wasn't. I wanted you to start a business. I wanted you to get rid of this addiction. I wanted you to be a productive individual and do this on your own, sir. But you can't. And I'm okay with that too. I just want to help you. Okay, let's issue out the bench warrant. Can we, once I sign the bench warrant, can I send it to you, Ms. Frausto, so you can email it to Mr. Smith? He says he's going to turn himself in. So when he turns himself in at the jail, he has a copy of that bench warrant?
Yes, Your Honor. And I believe Mr. Artemio Lopez had already submitted that to you yesterday.
Have I signed it? Can you, I don't think if I wouldn't send it to you, I would send it, see, if I send it to Artemio, it was late last night. Mr. Artemio's not going to be around for 2-3 days.
Okay.
So how can we ensure that I sent it back or not, other than me looking right here? Let me see. Becky, can you check the system? You can check, because when I send it to Artemio, I send it to COJ or Mr. Castañeda.
Judge, I haven't seen any bench warrants come in through the e-filing today.
No, it would have been last night.
But check the system for what, Judge?
For Mr. Smith's bench warrant.
Okay.
It would have been last night, Mr. Castañeda. I didn't do it.
No, Judge, and I wasn't included on any of those emails, so I wouldn't have any knowledge.
No, but I sent it to COJ for filing.
And they haven't filed anything as of yet.
That was my question. That was my question.
Judge,
yes.
If you'd like, you can forward that same email to me and then I can follow up with it as well.
That's not the problem. I don't even know if I got it.
Oh.
And did I send it back to Artemio?
Yeah, I don't show anything that you sent to me, Judge.
I don't send it to you, Ms. Becky. I send it to Artemio and COJ. So Becky, can you call COJ? Miss Becky, are you there?
She's on mute.
We lost your video, Judge.
I know. You know what happened? My
Judge, I'll check. Let me call council judges.
I got caught up in the wires, and there it is. And there. I got caught up in the wires. I kicked a wire and it shut flat my laptop. Okay. Let's see if we have a bench warrant. If not, let's try to track it. If not, then I'll do another one, or I'll do one. We're going to email you, Mr. Smith. Okay, sir? We're going to try to track that down. I don't see it. I want to remember I did sign it. That's why I'm having you guys do this. I want to remember I signed it. No. Okay. I want to remember I signed it, but I don't know. Okay.
Your Honor, Mr. Lopez did CC me on the email he sent to you. I don't know if you would like for me just to forward that email to you.
Please, please.
Okay.
And it has the bench warrant, right? I'll just sign it again.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Yeah, Judge, I called the Council of Judges and she says that she doesn't see anything in the queue. So the girls must have pulled it. She told me to email Michelle Rodarte to see if she has it, because she's the one that constantly checks the queues.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. I'm just gonna sign it again, Miss Becky.
Okay, Judge.
That's probably the quickest way through this. Let me make sure. I've not gotten it yet. Okay. We'll do that. Let me see. Oh, I got it. I got it, but no, I didn't sign this. Yeah, this one I didn't sign. I don't know if I got it. I'd have to look at my thing. I didn't sign it. I'll go ahead and sign it and send it back. Miss Frausto, I'm going to send it to you instead of Artemio.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then I want you to email. Do you have Mr. Smith's email address, Miss Frausto?
I do, Your Honor.
Good. Okay. Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith, is he there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Smith, where are you? Don't. Okay, sir. Okay. Sir, I hope you do the right thing and turn yourself in once you get a copy of that bench warrant, sir. Please. Okay? Please.
Thank you.
I want to help you, sir. I want to help you. Thank you. You may be excused. Thank you, Ms. Ralston.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay,
We have an add-on as well, Judge, okay?
Willie, yes, Willie. Let me go back. Hang on. We have some. I have Mr. Ivy still here. Why is
He's the add-on.
Oh, that's the add-on. At this time, court calls cause number 2020-0207. Willie Sanchez, announcement to council, please.
David Nunez for the state, Your Honor. Stage ready.
Dan Ivy for William Sanchez, Your Honor.
Is Mr. Sanchez participating or not?
Yes, Judge, I am. I'm right here.
Okay, good, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sanchez. Thank you. Okay, do we have I've got a switch now. We have PR bond. We have PR bond issues. Okay, you want to hear this, Mr. Ivy, please? Do we have, this is the other question. He's on a PR bond. I asked that Ms. Powers participate. Is Ms. Powers on? Ms. Becky, did PR people tell you to send something to Ms. Powers, or send something to them to send to Ms. Powers?
No, Judge, they didn't tell me to connect it to the invite. Let me get her number. I know she's on that email.
Who?
Miss Powers?
No.
She has a phone number on that email. Do you want me to call her so I can send
No.
it to her?
No. I want you to call PR bond people and see what's happening. Who is the one?
Hector Gonzalez
Hector Gonzalez is the one that's
that sent you that email.
Got it. Yes. Get Hector Gonzalez on PR. I wanted him on participate as well. Okay. I have a lot of questions about Mr. Sanchez, and that's why I wanted everybody to participate, but nevertheless, did you know he's got a CPS case open, I think, Mr. Ivy? Did I call the case? I don't think I even called it. I called the case. What I did with you, Mr. Sanchez, do you see and recognize Mr. Ivy as your attorney in this case?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And Mr. Ivy, do you see and recognize Mr. Sanchez as your client and the defendant in this case?
I do, Your Honor.
Very well. Let the record reflect that both have identified each other. Now, did you know there's a CPS case pending, I think? He's under a home safe plan, Mr. Ivy?
Yes, I do. I do, and I think CPS might have been the one who raised this complaint.
Okay, on 7/9, his PO, his PR bond officer, received a call from Vivian Powers from Home Safe Family Services. She mentioned Mr. Sanchez came out positive on drug and alcohol tests in June and May. On 6/18/20, a hair follicle test was done. He tested positive for cocaine. On 6/18/20, a drug urinalysis, it was a negative dilute. Then 5/7/20, I guess that negative dilute was in reference to the 6/18/20. Okay, then on 5/7/20, urinalysis positive. But that was before he was placed on a PR bond. But this is home safe reporting this to us, okay? Ms. Powers asked me about Mr. Sanchez's ability to visit his children that currently live with his wife, Taylor Sanchez, who is not to have contact with him. On the bond order, there was not anything specified regarding the children in question. Ms. Powers would like some clarification in order to make sure the defendant doesn't violate the Constitution. I emailed all the information to Ms. Powers. I got another email from Rita last night telling me that Ms. Powers never returned their phone call. I get an email from Ms. Powers saying I can participate at the hearing because I asked her to be here right now. She emailed me saying I can participate, but I can't answer any questions. I said, what? But anyway, I said, okay, participate. I try to tell her, I think you can answer my questions. But anyway, that's the status of this whole mess. I have a lot of concerns because I don't want Mr. Sanchez to be in violation. I didn't understand that no contact order would affect his issues, number one. Number two, he had a positive for cocaine, hair follicle. But we need to look at that hair follicle test, Mr. Riley. I want to be fair to your client. That hair follicle test goes back 3 months or 6 months, right? I don't know how far it goes back. Did you know about that positive for cocaine, Mr. Ivy?
Yes, Judge, I did. But like you said, I think it goes back 6 months. So I think Mr. Sanchez is okay for now. But
no, you need to prove that to me. You need to prove that. I didn't know that. And I think he's been on a PR bond for how long?
I'm not exactly sure, Judge.
May 13th, Judge.
Oh, okay. Okay, I want verification and proof, Mr. Ivy, that those positives was pre-PR bond date.
Okay.
That's the first thing. We all need to shut our cell phones. Okay.
Judge, may I speak?
Who are you? Is it Mr. Sanchez?
Yes, ma'am.
Of course, if your attorney lets you, absolutely.
No, of course. So I took that hair follicle on June 18th. July 8th, I took a urine analysis for drugs, and that came out negative. Ms. Powers let me know that came out negative.
Good for you. Good.
Yes,
for you.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. Now, you want to see your children. Your
Yes,
children
ma'am.
Taylor, right?
Yes, ma'am. I haven't seen them since January.
Okay, is there anything in this home health safe plan that says you can't be with them?
Yes, ma'am. They said that I could only talk to them through virtual, which is FaceTime.
So then why are they asking you this question, Mr. Ivy?
Why are they what, Judge? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Why are they asking this question? Can he have visitation with his children?
See, I don't understand either.
I don't understand either. And that's why I wanted everybody here.
So, Judge, Miss Powers, the last time I spoke to her, she found out about my PR bond, and she wanted to make sure that she wasn't breaking any rules, allowing me to see my children. Me and my wife aren't allowed to have any contact, but she wanted to make sure that her allowing me to see my children wouldn't be breaking any court
But
laws.
you're not really seeing your children. You're doing Zoom
Yes, ma'am. It's just it's virtual. Yes, ma'am.
or whatever it is. Mr. Gonzalez, I'm allowing Mr. Gonzalez is coming in, thank God, to shed a little bit of light. Now, the reason for this CPS case, Mr. Ivy, is it because of this, Mr. Sanchez's arrest for continuous violence, or what's the reason CPS got involved?
That's correct. That's right, Mr. Sanchez, because of the prior cases.
Correct. Yes, ma'am. One of the incidents, my children were in physical presence in the household, and that's the reason that CPS told me that they got involved, just because my children were in physical presence in the house.
You guys were fighting, allegedly.
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Good morning, sir.
Judge.
Emails have been going fast and furious between me and you, right? And Miss Powers. I told Miss Powers to show up today. Were you able to verify whether she was going to show up or not, or?
She had told me yesterday that she was only able to tell me, to tell you what was going on with the case, since she wasn't allowed to talk about it.
Okay, so what did she tell you?
She sent me, we talked about his case as far as like the positive readings that he had on his drug test, his hair follicle test.
I sent you an email after that. After you sent me that, I sent you an email that said, Hector, you need to talk to Miss Powers. If she can't speak to me, talk to Miss Powers. I need the who, where, why, and when in this case. Remember that?
I sent another summary yesterday. I don't know if you got it.
No, I didn't get it. What time did you send it?
I sent it to Rita. It was almost at 5. I think she sent it around 5 p.m. as well.
I have, but it doesn't say she did send it. Yeah, she said she waited until 4:40 something trying to get a summary, but this doesn't tell me you spoke to her, and I will need the why, when, and the wheres.
Yeah, I put more information regarding the stuff that we talked about yesterday about courses that Mr. Willem has been taking.
Okay, I'm looking at her PR bond summary for 7/16/2020.
Let's see.
And you're at the very bottom, and it says nothing about classes.
Can I forward it to you, Judge?
Absolutely. Updated summary. I think you just sent it to me, right? Just right
Yes,
now.
ma'am.
Okay, that tells me nothing. You just talked about the classes he's taking.
Yeah, we talked about what was going on with him. About
Okay.
it.
Okay, so answer me this question, Mr. Hector. Why did CPS get involved?
Because of the type of case that this is. Ms. Powers was telling me that his kids are scared of their dad.
Okay.
That's what Ms. Powers was telling me. When they talked to the kids about it, I believe his older daughter is 10, I believe.
11.
That he gets scared when they talk about the abuse that happened in the household where they used to all live together. Okay, that's why CPS got involved. And Also, I believe he has a 5-year-old.
With
And
her?
also, when they talk about the abuse that went on in the household, that he's scared as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the reason why. And so far, Mr. Sanchez has been compliant with everything, right?
Yes, he's been reporting to me. He's been compliant with everything.
Compliant with Home Safe.
With Home Safe. As far as the positive drug test that they sent me, on the bond conditions, it says he's not supposed to be doing any drugs. So as far as that, I mean, he came on positive on those.
Okay, Mr. Hector, my question is this. He was put on the PR bond hearing in May?
Yes.
Oh, okay. The hair follicle test was taken June what?
June 18th.
June 18th. Okay. It came out positive. How far back does that hair follicle test go? Because it could have predated the PR bond issuance, right?
Yes. I'm not sure how far that goes back. I didn't ask that.
Okay. That's critical. Because either he violated his PR bond or he didn't. If the hair follicle goes back 2 days, he violated it. If it goes back 6 months, can this hair follicle test show the date of the positive or the date of the use? You understand where I'm going with that? Mr. Hector? Did Mr. Hector leave?
I think we lost him, Judge.
Okay. Okay. I want that. I want proof of that, please. I want Mr. Ivy, Mr. Nunez. I want, well, really it's Mr. Ivy. It's to behoove you and your clients, sir. We just have to make sure that, and well, we have to make sure what the date, here he goes, Hector's.
And Your Honor,
I'm getting iPhone. I think Mr. Hector, we lost Mr. Hector. There you go. Unmute, Mr. Hector, please. Gonzalez. Mr. Gonzalez, unmute, sir. There you go. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, hang on, Mr. Nunez. So do you understand we have to see if Mr. Sanchez is compliant or non-compliant behavior, right? Those
Yes,
hair follicles, every hair follicle test is different. Some go back 6 months, some go back 8 months, some go back 12 months. We may not have a violation here because he was put on the CR bond when? May
13th. May 13th.
Okay, sir. So, Mr. Gonzalez, this is the kind of investigative behavior I want you to do, and I want these questions raised without me having to raise them. Because this is how you have to think to see if Mr. Sanchez violated or not. And I want to prove to me, I think it's in your best interest as well, Mr. Sanchez, to prove to Ms. Vivian Powers that it wasn't, well, no.
Of course. Your Honor, may I speak? So I took a drug test 2 weeks after that on July 8th, and it came out negative. Like, I haven't done drugs in more than at least 5-6 months. And that's me being honest. That's me falling on my own sword and saying, I got out of jail. February, and I was in a dark place. I couldn't see my wife, couldn't see my kids, February 14th to be exact. And I'm not gonna lie, I partied for a couple days, but since then, especially since you put me on our PR bond May 13th, I have been walking a straight line. All I want to do is see my children.
Good, good. I want to believe that, Mr. Sanchez. I hope it's all true. But
Yes,
Mr. Ivy and Mr. Gonzalez, you both have to work to prove to me at least that this happened pre-May imposition of PR. Okay.
Is there any way to find out what kind of test was used, Judge, so I can do some research into that?
That's why I wanted Ms. Powers here. I can't tell you that. I bet you, Mr. Gonzalez, you can't answer that question either, can you?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Judge, I had asked for copies of my drug, a UA analysis, and Ms. Powers advised me. She forwarded me a website to go to. I went to that website, and you had to manually fill out a form and mail it to Austin to get the results of my my UA test.
Thank God, Mr. Sanchez, you have a good attorney. Let's see if Ms. Sanchez or Ms. Powers will help you out. She's
All she did was forward me that website. She said she couldn't advise me of any more information.
Maybe she can help your attorney out, or maybe she can help the PR bond, because I'm telling Mr. Gonzalez to please help out here.
Yes,
I want to know what kind of test it was, etc., Mr. Gonzalez, okay?
Yes, Judge. I could go ahead and contact Ms. Powers because the email that she sent me, it said the hair follicle test was, it just says hair follicle test. It doesn't specify what kind.
Right.
But I could get that.
Okay, try to get that. Okay, Mr. Ivy, try to work with Mr. Hector. He's willing to speak to Mr. Hector.
Okay, could you email me that, Hector, whenever you get a chance, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now the other issue is, it is my understanding, and Mr. Hector, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm piecing this together by what Mr. Sanchez said. Okay, not from what you said and not from what she obviously doesn't want to participate at all. She's the one that called this party and then doesn't want to show up. What the heck is wrong with that? What's the matter with that, right? I need clarification, I need clarification, but then she refuses to show up even. I sent her an email saying, okay, you don't want to talk to me? Great, fine. Show up at the hearing. So I'm not very happy with her. Anyway, okay. So, obviously, Mr. Sanchez is saying that he doesn't have contact with his children. He is allowed to see them virtually. Do you know anything about that, Mr. Gonzalez?
I don't.
Okay.
No.
So that's what he's saying, virtually. I don't understand why she's asking that question. I just put no contact with Taylor. Why is she asking that question when I said no contact with Taylor? Mr. Ivy, I didn't put no contact with the children, did I?
To be honest, I don't remember, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Castañeda, can you pull up the PR bond to see, did I say no contact with children and Taylor?
All it says, Judge, is no Taylor Sanchez. If I recall, I think you guys refer to the home safe rules and whatever they were at. I don't think your intention was to overstep their
authority.
Right,
to step on their toes. Yeah, I'll now, Mr. Castañeda, but that doesn't say in the bond.
No, Judge. There is no mention made of the children. The only one that he is not to have contact with is Taylor Sanchez.
But there's no mention as to please abide by the rules and regimen of homes.
There is, Judge. It says defendant must comply with home safe rules.
Okay, there it is. I don't understand why she's asking that question. I don't understand it. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, Mr. Gonzalez.
That's fine.
Do you agree with me, or am I missing something?
Yeah, I'm just guessing she was asking since they do live with her. I guess if he were to go like in person, he wouldn't want to have contact with her.
But this is there's no in-person orders.
Okay.
Are there any in-person orders?
There was nothing mentioned whether it's in person or virtually. This is the first time I'm hearing that he has contact with them virtually.
And that could be something that she should have told you and shared with you. Especially since she called this party and was asking. And we're wasting time here because we're all just trying to piece things together. That's what makes me so angry. Mr. Sanchez.
Yes, ma'am.
There's no in-person visitation allowed, is there?
No, ma'am. I have a safety plan signed by me, my wife, and Ms. Powers, saying that I'm not allowed to physically see my children. It's only through FaceTime. And I have that safety plan with me. We all have that safety plan. So I'm aware that I have no contact physically with Taylor at all, virtual or not. But with my kids, I have no physical contact. It's just through FaceTime. And I understand that.
Okay. So I don't think there's any problem if, you're not going to have any contact. You don't speak to Miss Taylor if you're participating virtually, FaceTime, whatever, with your children. Okay. I don't think anything needs to be explained, Mr. Gonzalez. we put on the PR bond, he's gonna comply with all the orders that are done by home safety plan, whatever the heck that name is.
Your Honor, may I interrupt? Through Grapevine, I also signed a paper saying that Home Safe was closing down at the end of July, and I'm getting a new caseworker for CPS. So Home Safe is closing down 100%, and all cases are being transferred to CPS. So I'm not sure if Ms. Powers isn't on here just because she's no longer with Home Safe and Home Safe doesn't exist anymore. I just wanted to throw that out there. So I'll be getting a new caseworker with CPS soon. I'm just waiting for the phone call.
Okay, sir. Very well. Okay. Okay, hurry up and do your work, you guys, because Ms. Powers sounds like she's going to be gone soon. So
Yes,
hurry,
Judge.
try to get as much information as you can from Ms. Powers. Okay. You know, I don't understand this, Mr. Gonzalez. You're kind of fairly new to the PR bond, or you're fairly new with me. How long have you been?
Yes, I've been, it's already 7 months.
Good for you. You're doing a great job, sir. Great job. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Great job that you do. Your summaries are always very good, very succinct, very to the point. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
I've had many a caseworker, CPS, or home health safe people come in to, when I ask them to come in, because I want to try to work together so we can come up with a plan, right, for everybody to be safe, right? So this is the first time that I've had somebody say, I can go in, but I can't talk to you. Holy moly. What's that about? I've had lots of CPS workers come in to talk to me at bond hearings, at status hearings, home health people, home safe people. So I don't understand what her position is. I don't understand it. But anyway, okay. So there it is. I don't think we need to clarify anything. I just want to set this up for another status. Mr. Ivy, you're going to have to just prove to me that this cocaine wasn't before May, was before May and not after May. Okay?
Judge, I'll do my best. Once I figure out what kind of test it was, I'll do some research on how long they can go back. But I don't know how else to prove it.
I know. Maybe once you get the name of the test, you can do research on Google to see how far back it goes. Right. And then what you have to find out is, does it pinpoint the date of usage? And I don't think it does. I think it just says within the last 6 months, he's done coke. Within the last 8 months, he's done marijuana, whatever, right? Yes. I don't think it pinpoints the date of usage, but let's try.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Ivy, let's set this up for another settlement. I'm going to give you 30 days to try to resolve this issue. Meanwhile, Mr. Sanchez, everything is riding on you, sir. You
Yes,
want
ma'am.
back, you want,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Sanchez, for what it's worth, and we're not going to talk about the facts of the case, but your children are afraid of you, okay? So you've got an uphill battle with your children, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Don't complicate that uphill battle with positive drug use.
Of course.
That makes it worse for your case. And Mr. Ivy, I'm sure, has told you this. He's told you, right?
Yes.
So fight that battle that your children are just a little bit uncomfortable with you. That's where you have to, there's your uphill battle. Okay. And be consistent in their face. As much visitation as you can do virtually, do it, sir. Please.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
That's all I can suggest is consistency, stability. Show them you're safe. Show them you're safe. And you're not going to disappear. Okay. That's my 2 cents for what it's worth. Okay, Mr. Ivy, anything else? I'm not even going to charge you, Mr. Ivy, for that.
That's good stuff.
Mr. Ivy, anything else, sir?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Yes. Mr. Nunez, anything else?
Yes, Your Honor. One thing to chime in, just to give a little bit of context to this case, Judge. This case was previously indicted under a 2019 cause number, but we re-indicted because he ended the game, and so we lumped up all the charges.
You re-indicted why I didn't understand anything you said. You start with we re-indicted because
there was another offense, Judge.
Oh.
So that's why. So he was already on PR bond. It expired, I believe, sometime in February. And so just to let Judge, I just wanted you to know.
I to be pretty serious for CPS to get involved. I just wanted to know why. Okay, Mr. Nunez, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Gonzalez, keep up the good work. Please work with Mr. Ivy. We can try to figure out if there's non-compliant behavior. Mr. Gonzalez, thank you so much.
Yes, Judge.
It's a pleasure. Had I ever met you before? I don't think
No,
so.
this is the first time, Judge.
I don't recognize your face.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, sir. Nice, a pleasure to meet you, sir. Keep up the good work over there.
Nice to meet you, Judge. Thank you.
But you wanted a status in how many days?
30.
30?
I'm Ivy 30 days to prove to me. It was crazy.
And Your Honor, there is also a pending VPO. There's a
What?
missing VPO, violation of protected order.
There's a
Also-
pending violation of protective order?
Yes, Your Honor, from March also, just to let you know.
What's that case number?
2020 0C0 2326.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Anything else, everybody? We're good?
Yes,
Yes?
sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
everybody excused. Thank you, Mr. Sanchez. You may be excused. Have a great day. Okay.
you.
The next one, thank you, sir. The next one is Victor Diaz. Victor Diaz, are you present? Mr. Leonel Nunez Jr., what are you here for? Which case?
Hi, Judge. How are you?
Good, sir. How are you? Oh my God, where are you? It looks so interesting.
Oh, this is my home, ma'am.
Beautiful. Look at that lamp fixture.
How are you, Judge? I apologize for being late. We just had some technical difficulties, so I apologize about that.
That's okay, sir. I've let you in a couple of times. I'm doing well, sir. I'm feeling safe. Which case are you here for? Because I don't have any more with an attorney.
I am here with Mr. Yesai Carrillo. We're here for an admonishment hearing, Your Honor.
Did I miss that, Mr. Rick?
He's for Brock Benjamin, Judge. He's
Yes, ma'am.
with Brock Benjamin.
I called it already. Okay, let's handle it right now. What page is that on? That I'm.
And our client is here, Your Honor.
On page 3.
Thank you. Page 3.
Yes.
3. Very good. Let's take care of that one. At this time, court calls cause number 2015-1772. The state of Texas versus Yesai Carrillo. Announcement of counsel, please.
David Nunez for the state, Your Honor. State is ready.
Leonel Nunez starting in for Brock Benjamin on behalf of Mr. Yesai Carrillo.
Mr. Carrillo, do you see and recognize your attorney, Mr. Leonel Nunez? Mr. Carrillo, I'm trying to find him. I can't find him. Is he on mute, Mr. Rick?
No, it doesn't show that he's on mute, and it does. I can't see his video.
You know what? I see his video. Mr. Carrillo, you participated without audio. Mr. Carrillo, can you hear me? Nod your head yes or no. Can you hear me? See, he has 0 audio.
Yes.
I just sent him a chat saying that he has no sound. I don't know if he could see it. Now he's trying to connect the audio, Judge.
Let's see. Mr. Carrillo, can you speak to me, sir? Mr. Carrillo? No, he didn't. He didn't. He still doesn't have any sound. I know. Okay, tell him to check back in, Rick, to get out and come back in with video and audio. Meanwhile, Mr. Nunez, are you going to waive his presence until he shows up if he does?
That's fine, Your Honor. We can continue. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, you know why we can't? It's an admonishment.
Oh, that's okay.
We can't. Okay, I'll go ahead and get back with you all 1 minute.
No worries, Your Honor. That's fine.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Alvarado, what happened with Casa Vida?
I did speak to Mario, and he did tell me that the reason he didn't mention any cost towards Mr. Jesse's treatment is because he qualified Mr. Jesse under the unhomed program. Since he doesn't have a stable home and he is living with his sister, he's gonna do 90 days completely free for Mr. Chavez.
Mr. Chavez, God is taking care of you. That's beautiful. Mr. Chavez, unmute. That's beautiful. I'm so happy, sir. I'm so happy. Do you see God helps those who help themselves? You've been trying to help yourself for a long time, Mr. Chavez. I'm happy. I'm happy. Just be prepared. Be prepared, Mr. Chavez. You may really like that place. A lot of people that I put in there love it. It's run by, I don't know if Mr. Mario has told you, it's run by ex-addicts. And who knows better what you guys need than an ex-addict, right? Can you speak to me? You're not on mute.
Yeah, yes, Your Honor. No, I was just.
Yes, no, I just wanted to make sure your audio was working, sir. So no worries. I saw you going up.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, thank you.
So be prepared. Get your family prepared. Be prepared after 3 months if they can help you out for a month or two if you want to stay there. So that way you can stay there for a month or 2 months until you get on your feet and then you can support yourself.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Miss Alejandra?
Yes, so he actually did update me on the bed availability.
Okay.
Mr. Chavez is to contact him because he does have a bed and he'll be taking him in on Tuesday at 9 in the morning.
Oh my God, Mr. Chavez, isn't that awesome?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, I'm happy.
Oh, I am so happy. I'm glad. I think you have an open mind and an open heart. I think you do.
Thank you.
You're ready. You're ready, sir. You're ready.
I also have my EHN appointment tomorrow as well, so it's all kind of falling into place.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Excellent. Okay. What I don't want to bother Mr. Chavez in the 3 months that he's there participating, Miss Alvarado. But can you just check up on him? Do you have contacts that you can check up on him and see how he's doing and then just email me?
Yes, Judge. Actually, Mr. Chavez is really good about calling me and updating me with his client numbers and stuff so I can keep in contact with him.
So of course, he still has to report even though he's living at Casa Vida, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I just want updates every month. Can you?
Yes, Judge, of course.
I really am interested. I'm praying for you. I'm rooting for you. I'm on your side, Mr. Chavez. You're going to do that this time. You're going to do it.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Anything you need from us, Mr. Chavez? I'm proud of you.
No, just to thank you for getting me the help and understanding and
well,
just
the reason I
support.
understand is because you know what? And I support and I understand when you are helping yourself and you're trying this and then you're trying that and then you're going over here. That shows to me you really want it and you're trying.
Yes, Your Honor.
And
Yes.
God knows you're going to do it this time. Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Chavez, God bless you. It's going to be a tough, hard road. God bless you, but we're behind you, rooting for you.
God bless you as well, Your Honor. Thank you.
You may be excused, Miss Alejandra. Thank you so much. You did a great job. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Maybe
excused. Yes. Okay, Mr. Leonel, do we have Mr. Carrillo?
Yes, Your Honor, he is back on.
We're back on the record. Mr. Carrillo, can you talk to me?
Yes, ma'am.
There you are, sir. Thank you so much for being persistent and checking back in. Mr. Carrillo, do you see and recognize Mr. Leonel Nunez as your attorney in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Nunez, do you see and recognize your client as the defendant in this case?
I do, Your Honor.
Very well. Let the record reflect that both have recognized each other. Go ahead. Well, I think we've got a Miss Arenas. Are you there? Yes. Miss Arenas, can you unmute? Because you're the PO in this case?
Your Honor, David Macias. I'm Mr. Carrillo's probation officer.
Okay, Mr. Macias, talk to me about Mr.
Your Honor, Mr. Carrillo is indeed the director more. He has a Scram remote unit. And the reason we requested this hearing is because I received an email on July 5th at 12:30 a.m. Mr. Carrillo blew up 0.020. A second test was taken at 12:46 a.m. and the result was positive 0.021. A third test was taken at 1:13 a.m. and that was 0.00. On Monday, when I received the email, I called Mr. Carrillo and I informed him of it. I case conference with my supervisor and she had me ask Mr. Carrillo to go provide an ETG test. Mr. Carrillo went immediately. He provided an ETG test and a UA. Both were negative.
What date?
That was that day, Your Honor, July 6th, when I got the email.
Well, because everything had metabolized. Why would you go do an ETG? He blew 0-0 at 1:13, so we knew he stopped drinking.
Well, and Your Honor, if I may, it was only 30 minutes after the positive test, and it was a really low amount. I've spoken to my client, and he has informed me that he hasn't drank whatsoever, and he's adamant on that. He's been on probation for the past 5 years, and on the past 5 years that he's been on probation, and I have spoken to Mr. Macias as well about it, he hasn't had any positives. He hasn't gotten in trouble. He hasn't gotten into any situations that involve alcohol whatsoever in the last 5 years. My client has informed us that he's been clean. He's been sober. I understand that there was some positives that came out. He did inform me that he did end up using some mouthwash that night. And I myself do believe him just to the amount of low alcohol that he ended up blowing into the machine. He could have easily skipped the next test that he did, but he did not. And you can see, you know, even after he did go right away to the probation office, to Mr. Macias's directions, and did do the test the next morning as well. So I think, I don't know, it's either the machine, or I do believe our client, I mean, it's been 5 years without any violations, Your Honor, whatsoever.
Your Honor, when I had spoken to Mr. Nunez and informed him that he hasn't had any violations with myself, but I believe in the first couple of months, he had a different officer and he did have violations. I think at that time he had an interlock. He was admonished by the court. I think he was getting 6 days in jail, and then he was switched out to, at that time, it was the sober. Since then, Recovery House has switched over to the Scram remote unit, and that's what we have. But the time that he has been with myself, I think he started in January 2016. I haven't had no issues whatsoever with Mr. Carrillo.
Good. He had a couple of bumps in the road at the very beginning. Well,
Yes, and he admits to them, Your Honor.
that's
He does know that. But ever since then, you know, he's changed his life around. He has a 1-year-old daughter right now. He's completed everything on probation. He only needs 67 more hours of community service out of the 300 that he was given. He has become a man of faith. He attends every weekend. He just changed his life around. They just bought a family home as well, which he himself is building out in Horizon as well, Your Honor. And the last thing he wants to do is get back into alcoholism, and he doesn't want to do that. And he's stayed clean, and he has informed me of that. The last thing he wants to do is lose the job that he just got. He just got promoted twice within the last year. So he is improving his life. And I did speak with him yesterday, Your Honor, and he is willing just to prove himself to the court. He is willing to wear the ankle monitor that detects alcohol, because he knows, and he does say that he has been sober, Your Honor.
Wow. Mr. Nunez, where does Mr. Carrillo work that he's gotten 2 promotions?
I did send a letter over to Mr. David Nunez, Your Honor, just right now. I was going to send it over to the court. I can forward it to you as well. I do have a letter from his employer. I can just pull it up really quick. It's called Dicronite. And I did get a letter from his production manager, Your Honor, or Mr. Yesai Carrillo is the production manager there. But the company is called Dicronite Dry Lube.
What is that?
Mr. Carrillo, did you want to let the judge know exactly what you do there?
What is that, Mr. Carrillo?
Yes, ma'am. This production, we work for the Boeing 747. We also do handle hot burn productions. What we do, we apply a dry lubrication to the metal so they won't corrupt. And right now we're speaking with Tulsa. We might get another contract with Tulsa as the respiratory for the COVID-19 as we speak.
Okay, sir. So you are productions manager now? That's what they promoted you
Yes,
to?
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I work
Company for
very hard.
how long have you been working for this company?
As now in December, it'll be my 4th year.
Good for you. Good for you, sir. Okay. Okay. You know, this is what I do believe, Mr. Leonel Nunez. There's too many Nunez's out there now.
I know, right? My brother, myself, and then Mr. David Nunez.
And Ruben Nunez?
Ruben Nunez as well. You should have seen when David Nunez and I were trial partners at the DA's office. That was very confusing.
Oh, that had to be hilarious, Rick. Oh my God, I didn't know that. Do you remember those good old days, Mr. David Nunez? When Leonel was your partner in crime?
I do, Judge. There was one instance, there were 4 Nunez's in the court with.
Oh my God, that had to be a nightmare. Holy moly. I know. I go crazy when it's either you, Mr. Leonel, it's your brother, or it's Ruben Nunez, and then I have David Nunez. Holy moly. Okay, very popular name. Now, the only thing I have to tell you is this. The fact that he's been on probation for such a long period of time with minimal, a couple of bumps in the road at the beginning, but minimal infractions speaks volumes to me. It does. It really does, sir. I really do believe, sir, Mr. Carrillo, I believe that you were drinking. July 5th, 4th of July weekend, you know, it's a little bit suspect, the time, but given that because you have such a good history, a good positive history on this SoberLink Scram device now, I'm going to overlook it, not do anything, but it better not happen again. Mr. David Nunez, are you okay with that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Macias, are you okay with that?
I'm okay with it, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay. But never, I don't think you're pulling the wool over my eyes. I think you drank, and I don't think it was mouthwash. You've been on it too long to know not to do mouthwash. And then it was on the 4th of July weekend. Anyway, okay. I gave my 2 cents, Mr. Carrillo. You are doing good things in your life, positive things in your life, very productive, lucrative things in your life. Don't mess it up. Hurry up and get off probation.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Finish your community service hours. Well, I don't know. Nothing is open right now. You can't. You can't. Okay. Okay. Mr. Leonel Nunez, anything else?
No, Your Honor. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Mr. Carrillo, this isn't going to happen again, and we're not going to see you again under these circumstances. Okay, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Thank you all. And then I have to tell you something else. I have to bring it up. Mr. Carrillo, look at how you're dressed, sir. That shows me that you respect the system, you respect me, you respect the attorneys, you respect the process. I truly appreciate that. That speaks volumes to me too, sir. So keep it up, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. I always respect you.
I'm sorry, sir?
I will always respect the law.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. You'll always respect the system, which we all should. We all should, sir. Okay. So that speaks volumes to me as well, sir. So thank you very much. Keep up the good work and don't let this little hiccup happen again. Thank you. You may be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Thank you. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Luna. Have a great day. Be safe out there.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Macias, very much. The next one is Mr. Hugo Diaz, Victor Hugo. At this time, court call, is he on? We don't have Hugo Diaz on. Do we, Rick?
No, those are the arraignments that didn't have attorneys.
But Becky, were they supposed to show up on my Zoom or not? I forgot.
Judge, she sends them the same court setting that shows Zoom invite, and then it has my number, so they haven't called in. The one that did show up here at the court was Alejandro Jimenez, and I asked security downstairs if he can just give him my number and tell him to call me from the cell phone so that I could get him either on the phone or on the Zoom, and he hadn't called in yet.
Okay, the purpose of Becky is, did Dorn show up with an arraignment, waiver of arraignment, Christopher Dorn?
They haven't called in, Judge.
And neither has Norma Delgado.
No, Judge.
None of these have attorneys.
No.
But
so do you want her to still set them on the waiver list, and then when they call me, then I'll check, see if they have attorneys, and then reset them at that time so I can get there.
We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
We'll talk about it in 2 minutes. I'm going to get off of YouTube.
Okay.
Who is CSA? Oh, CSA.
That's my training, Judge.
I forgot that. Thank you. Okay, I'm getting off of YouTube. Thank you all. We will